and welcome back. Last we left off, we found our most intrepid of heroes cruising down River Cheonthar en route to the legendary City of Blood, Baldur's Gate. Our heroes, having joined with an old friend in the form of Theodore, hopped on their boat, began the long, arduous journey westward. Making their way slowly along the river, the pleasant journey allowed the party a brief amount of respite, away from the political dealings of the major cities and away from the chaos that comes with traveling on foot along the Sword Coast. Our heroes found not only some strange towns along their way, passing by Angerbled, the gnomish farming village, as well as Wraithwyn, recently re-established in the wake of the absolute crisis. Moonrise Towers now carrying some concerning banners from the land of Arm. Eventually our party, however, cruised further and further down the Cheonthar River, eventually finding themselves in the shadow of the city of Baldur's Gate, which is where we find ourselves now. As the Cheonthar widens, its surface cut by ferries, barges, and fishing boats, immediately the smell of tar, fish, and smoke begins to thicken the air around you. You can see, even from this distance, the sprawling of the city of Baldur's Gate. Tangles of shacks and workshops and markets clinging to walls, onto bridges, onto the side of this huge, intimidating hill. As you guys get closer and closer, you begin to find yourselves cast under the shadow of Duskhawk Hill, a enormous, naturally formed hill, sort of standing on the coast of the Sea of Swords. You guys can see it like a sentinel standing above the chaos, a heavy presence with the wooded crown and ancient watchtower surveying both the river and the sea. At the edge of Duskhawk Hill, you see the infamous statue, Baldur looks out to sea. The legendary founder's stone cloak seems to whip in a phantom wind, his hand lifted to his brow as he gazes out to the sea, never looking back on the city that bears his name, only outward, ever westward, searching for horizons yet unseen. However, the first thing that catches all of your attention is the beating heart of the River Cheonthar, the crossing towers of Worm's Rock. A bridge turned into a bustling district of its own. Timber houses and shops cling to its sides, stacked in impossible layers, balconies overhanging the water. So far, it seems a miracle that they don't collapse. The span thrums with life, carts rattling over cobbles, traders hawking wares from windows, and guards barking orders to keep the chaos flowing. At its center, the squat fortress of Worm's Rock rises from the riverbed itself, bristling with ballistae and flying the banners of the Flaming Fist. Beyond, you can see in the far distance the outer city sprawling out into a tangle of shacks and workshops, pressed against the curtained wall, smoke and cook fires rising in the haze. As you guys move closer and closer, you see your companion Theodore begins to sort of take down the sails and begin to sort of raise up some of the various ropes that are sort of attached to the ship. You see that he begins to take the anchor and begin to wheel it down, and he goes, "Oh, all right then, guys. Well, it's been a fabulous few days, and I'm going to be awfully sad to see you go. I'm taking it you won't be returning to Elturel anytime soon."
We don't know where this journey's going to take us yet, but we'll soon find out.
I mean,
Well, if you ever find yourself back in the city, feel free to hit me up.
We
Absolutely.
definitely will.
Just be careful if you're heading back as well for those, bandits on the bridge.
Oh, I intend to. Don't you worry about that. Anyways, we should be pulling under the Dancing Axe any minute now, and you begin to see yourself sort of like moving closer and closer towards the bridge. At this point, we're going to rewind a little bit. Nebulon,
yes.
over the past few days, have you sat in quiet contemplation charting the stars as you move along Eltergard and the Sword Coast at large. Is there anything you would have liked to have accomplished during this period of downtime?
For the vast majority, I would have been, out of probable guilt and also quiet contemplation, been attempting to learn to play the lute. But there would have been one moment during which I would have been, to the best of my ability, attempting to prepare certain objects that I had acquired in my small shopping trip in Elturel.
Incredible.
Elturel. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and roll for this to see who I'm going to talk to on this journey first, I would say.
Cool.
So let's make a start. All right, that is. Okay, that's you, Vilka. So I think at one point I would have probably called you over. Vilka, I know you're probably preparing for another one of those sparring matches with, Rail, but do you mind if I have a little quick chat?
Not at all.
All right. I have got you something. At which point I'm going to pull out what looks to be. Let's get it up here. Yes. So I'll pull out what looks to be a very, very long necklace, and this necklace in particular, it's more of a not a necklace, more of like an idol or some sort of amulet of sorts. And as you take a look in more detail, it is 4 bat's wings that have been connected, and it almost tries to resemble a 4-leaf clover, but in bat form. This necklace in particular, it doesn't. I've noticed that you've been, as we've discussed before, quite reserved about things, and I worry that you are taking a lot more guilt or bad memories with you, and I wanted to give you this. It's kind of like a good luck charm, I suppose. That is what the lady said at the stall, anyway. So think of it as that people are actually here, and we've got your back. Don't have to do anything with it, but it is, something that I'm sure I speak for everyone on this ship, that we've got you, and you don't need to worry about anything. And I'll just pass that over to you.
He will just gingerly take it. It's pretty obvious to you, Nebulon, that he's probably never received a gift, at least not for a long time. So he's gonna just dangle it over, just look a little bit more in details at the motif on it. Oh. Thank you, Nebulon.
You don't need to thank me.
I will try to find the use for it.
Good. You don't have to. It's just, letting you know that you're thought about, and that you're not alone. Okay? I think, I think Nebulon would have just found the time to roughly have that general conversation at some point, and I think he probably would have found time for one more person. I'm going to roll for that now.
Vilka,
I think he's mostly just picking his moments, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And what is a
Vilka would have
Okay.
just taken the hilt of his long sword and would have wrapped around the necklace on it, so it just has some kind of little charm on it now.
Ah. Okay. At one point, as the sort of boat is going across, probably near one of the nighttime encounters, I think Nebulon would have gone to Rail. As I rolled a 5, so I'm going to go to Rail. Rail, do you mind if I sidebar you for a second, please?
You see that this is kind of going on as you're sort of trying to push Renar into the recovery position. He's sort of half asleep. And then I told her, "Get your hands off me, you heifer!"
Sorry to disturb in this pressing moment of your time.
I'll just sigh into my hands as I'm gingerly looking for like this, just something to put over him, like a blanket or something like that, just to try and keep him as quiet and steady and not going to wakey uppy as possible.
Your father's a filthy cur, and so is your mother, you wretch.
He's a real dream, isn't he?
Oh, if we could all be so like him.
I know, right? I wanted to speak to you for a second. I've got you something, if I may.
You've... Sure. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, sure.
Well, I've noticed that over a long while now, you're perfecting your craft with, fighting. But you're not just the kind of fighter that burns through raw adrenaline. It's like you study the battlefield, no?
I've been finding more angles, more ways to get in when I'm not just focused on being, straight there in the front line. So yeah, you're right. Thanks for noticing as well, Nabil.
No, it is fine. I don't have the academic training that you might have in terms of, investigative means. But one thing that I did manage to find, and I'll sort of pull out what looks to be this large cylindrical tub, if you will. It's got a lid on it. It's kind of like hardback leather. And as I sort of open it up, you see I sort of pull out 3 or 4 blank maps, each of which are gridded, and each of which are different terrains with various different obstacles and things. There's also several different chess pieces on the inside, but they're not necessarily chess pieces, more blank counters of 2 or 3 different colors. I know that you like to strategize, so why not strategically think of something in advance? So you can take your time now and you can study various different aspects of the battlefields, and I don't know, even if you want to do something for fun, we could probably make up a game or something like that. Either way, you've got something that you can think of. I know you've been training really hard with Vilka, and it's been quite inspiring. A bit loud, but it's been brilliant to see. So here, and he'll sort of pack it all the way back in and sort of seal the lid. There you go.
I'll just take it in my hands. Just thank you very, very much. I actually know how to put this into some really good use. So thank you, Nobila.
Perfect. We're going to have a lot of plans in the future, I can imagine, and I think that probably will come in handy.
Well, if we didn't have a war table, at least now we have the start of one.
That we do. Portability, right?
A
Why is it so
portable
much
war
fun?
table. You should patent that.
I probably would, but I can't. I don't have any legal documentation of my own, so
Well,
either way. I think, I hope you enjoy. Please do not feel like you have to use it. I just wanted to show that we've, that your strategies have saved us more than once. So keep practicing.
it's much, much appreciated, Nebulon. And well, if it ever comes down to planning something, I'm sure you'll be over there. So this will go to some very good use.
I think Nebula probably would have found the time for just those 2 encounters. The other times, I would have definitely been relentlessly practicing with my loot. Just
Go ahead and give me. Well, it's been 3 days. Go ahead and give me 3 performance checks.
It's quite a small boat, right? So if you don't do well, it's going to bother
Oh, I
all
know,
of
it's
us.
going to be so interesting. Right, the first one is an 11 on the dice. Performance, right?
Yes.
+4, so 15.
Cool.
Second one. Oh, do you want to do all 3?
No. Go ahead. Go all 3. Yeah.
Perfect. Second one is a 9 +4, so that's a 13. And a 5 +4 is a 9. So.
How are you getting worse?
The rain
As
on the
you-
last days didn't help at all.
As you sort of take out the loot and begin to study it, you start to work through a couple of the guidance books you were given. And on the first day, it seems like you're beginning to make a decent amount of progress. Like you're beginning to get an idea of the, basic music theory, the way chords are constructed, the general layout of the fingerboard, and all of that sort of good stuff. It's on the second day that you begin to notice the consequence of playing a string instrument. As you sort of awaken, every note hurts to the touch, and you begin to see these sort of large, thick blisters forming on the edges of each one of your fingers. And it makes getting through even the most basic of stuff that you've been picking up over the last few days a real chore to get through. And you begin to make some progress towards it, but you get the impression that this is going to be a marathon and not a sprint.
Well, that's enough for one day, I think. I think that's probably by the third day. I sort of like try to wrap up my hands a little bit, and then I sort of.
And as you're sort of like stowing the loot back away and putting the books away, you see that Theodore sort of like anchors the boat down as you guys stop just shy of one of the large pillars, sort of stretching down from Worm's Crossing to the River Shionthar. You can see there's like a series of what look like almost merchant elevators that have been set up along Worm's Crossing, where various businesses sort of like bring cargo immediately up from the River Shionthar onto Worm's Crossing to save the full voyage through Baldur's Gate and things of that nature. And as you're sort of like towards the northern end of Worm's Crossing, you watch as he sort of like rings a small bell that's on a piece of rope, and you begin to hear a ding, 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 ding. At which point, a few moments pass, and you see Theodore turns to all of you and goes, "Looks like there's a fair bit of commotion in the city today. I wonder if something's going on." And you can like sort of hear the hum and the buzz of like each side of Worm's Crossing and the bridge itself. A few moments later, you begin to hear wood as a small wooden platform is lowered down to the ship. You see Theodore sort of like sets out the gangway. The lift itself is nothing particularly special. It definitely looks like it's some kind of cargo lift. There's no real way to like, there's no real railings or anything like that on it. It's a large sort of like wooden platform, as you will, sort of like tied with 4 ropes on the end of it. And you guys get the impression that perhaps it's not the safest method of transport for people, probably more so for cargo.
Yeah, great.
Well, I'll just step onto it anyway.
Cargoed?
Cool. You see that Renar sort of like hops on next to you, sort of like grabs onto your arm quickly and goes, "Have I ever told you that I'm terrified of heights, Rail?"
I'll just look up. And how far is it that we've got to go?
It's not too far. It's about 20, 30 feet up into the air. So, and you have water underneath you. Enough to trigger vertigo, if nothing else.
No, it's more I'm just wondering how long he's going to be clinging to my arm for, but yeah.
Oh, he's clinging hard. And as the first set of you are sort of like raised up on the dais, lift sort of sent back down, and the rest of you, and you see Theodore waves you up and goes, "Have a good journey, keep safe, everybody!"
Take care, Theodore.
Bye.
And you all land and enter in to a strange basement. Give me 2 seconds.
Is this the main entrance, guys?
Sure, it looks a little not as grand as I thought, but
Is
I
this
mean,
how you get into the city?
I hope so.
Okay.
Me too, because this is odd.
Who's been to Baldur's Gate before, by the way?
I have not.
Probably just Vilka here.
But you're not gonna tell, are you? You secretive bastard.
Vilka is just like hanging on to his like balance and just like looking to the horizon.
Remember as well,
As you sort of-
Harper's, so it won't look as grand as the main entrance, but we'll get there.
As you sort of land and you now find yourself in this sort of like mercantile basement, you can see what looked like this sort of like heavy wooden structure built into the actual bridge of Worm's Crossing itself. What appears to be a very sort of like standard cargo basement. You can see that the leftmost wall sort of opens out looking over the River Shionthar proper. You can see there's various sort of like crates and supplies sort of littered around. You can see like large bundles of hempen rope sort of like tossed about, what look like miscellaneous sort of like armor and shields sort of like all over the place. And you are greeted by a figure. You notice a dwarven man. You can see that he's not so much the noble type, definitely has a very sort of like mercantile look about him. You can see he's wearing sort of like a blue and gold doublet with a frilled collar, has sort of like a large pungent double chin that sort of like hangs, disguising the neck into the face. You can see these set of like bright golden blonde curtains blown back, a sort of like large stout nose in the center of his face. Looks dwarven in nature. You can see his face sort of like goes rosy, and he sort of like looks up at all of you and goes, "All right." And I'm assuming that you're all harpers or something of that nature?
Something of that nature.
Right, well, it would have been nice to have a little bit of warning if you could tell your superiors in future. The Fist don't look particularly kindly on strangers just entering into Worm's Crossing. I had to talk them away when you were being loaded up into the basement.
Strange, I thought it was...
Sorry about that.
We were
Well-
sent by Wilson.
Nothing to be done about it now. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you all. I am Enthal Danthalon. And what can I call you, merry band of misfits?
Oh,
I
that's
think
a
that
good
works
point.
pretty well. Merry band of misfits.
I mean, that's
right.
that's more of a placeholder, I think. But did we think of a name? I mean, that's interesting.
Are we like a thing now?
I think so. I mean, I'm not going to abandon any of you. Right.
Part of the group.
I'm
We'll
sorry.
talk
Remind
about
me
that
again.
later.
What was your name? Sorry.
Enthal.
Enthal. I'm so sorry. Could you just give us one moment,
Take your time.
and I'll, I guess, try and gesture into some sort of huddle situation. Could we?
You see, he begins to sort of like shout down at Theodore and about, Enthal, that I don't want to. It's darkening my door without prior notice.
Right. I think we need to come up with a group name because this is going to become a very common thing
Yeah,
in the
are we doing
city.
this
I
right now?
assume.
It seems so, yes.
I just feel like people are going to reference us as a team. I think we're a team. I think we're a great team. We've definitely
Yeah.
got some
I
chill.
agree.
I'm happy I'm part of a team that's not my family.
This is amazing. Now,
Gentle cat.
What you got in mind
Sorta.
then?
Oh.
I mean, just throwing out ideas. I mean, you all seem to be quite fond of the previous companion that we sent his mask up into the sky. I mean,
Kyben.
yes,
It could be
Kyber, that was his
Kyber's
name. I mean,
Defenders. Kyber.
I guess
Maybe just
Kyber.
reference his mask.
it's a bit specific. Just mentioning.
What
the name.
about
I like?
Renar's rambunctious rally boys?
I'm
No.
just
No.
gonna. I think we'll just stare at him for like.
Was he invited to the circle?
I don't.
I thought we were huddled.
No.
So I'm the leader of our group.
After getting in trouble the other day, you are not.
I think you've
Just-
made.
I don't
Some
think he was
interesting
before
decisions.
either, so.
Well, that as well.
I dispute that. Fine.
It's
How
not
about
gonna
something with
happen.
dragons, guys? Like,
Well, I
Like,
mean, dragons are
dragons are
known for.
cute. The group.
Yes, they are definitely fire breathing, at least stereotypically. I mean, the one we encountered was not that, but you
What's
know, it's
something like
Cobalt
masks,
defenders.
masks of dragonfire. Yeah, let's do that.
I'm not sure. I mean, it's oddly specific towards dragons, but I like the masks part. I like that.
The masks part
But-
is good.
What about
I do not care
how
much
about
for names.
What about the
Once
dragon?
there is nothing but ashen embers, whatever name we are remembered by, I do not care.
Well, if you have to
Embers?
I
compare
like the Ember
ash,
part.
well, yes. I mean, if you think of it,
silent
it's,
some things.
With-
I don't know.
well, if I took ash, if I look at it, it's already burnt and it's gone and it just disappears and that's it. But embers, I mean, that is like a bit of hope,
They're still
no?
alive.
Light, exactly. It's light. So
We're guarding the ash guards.
No.
And it also brings us together from essentially where we started.
embers.
That is
What-
true.
What about
I
the
don't mean to
masters?
rush you all, but I do have a shop to maintain. I don't know why
yes.
it's taken you 20 minutes to come
Guys,
up with
fix up the
what your
What about
name is.
something.
Sorry.
Masks.
The Masks of Ember.
Yeah, that'll do.
It took you 25 minutes to come up with that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That is us. We are the Masks
It
of
could
Ember.
have taken way
Masks of
longer.
Ember.
Probably. But
Good.
I think
all
it's
need
the best one
Well,
we've got.
Masks of Ember, why don't you come upstairs?
Correct.
Oh.
Okay.
We've
Come on,
been
guys.
invited.
Okay.
We'll follow along.
I'll just
I've never been in
go
a harper
behind
house
him and
before.
I'll drag Renar with me as well.
As you guys sort of like move upwards, you find yourself in what appears to be a very humble sort of like 3-story general goods store. The thing that sort of catches your attention, is over the sort of like main desk, what looks like a large sort of like axe is sort of like placed and like mounted atop in decorative formation. You can see a couple of patrons milling about, looking at what look like various weapons and suits of armor and things of that nature. These bookcases that are sort of like filled with books and what looks like this large taxidermy bear sort of sat in the corner. One thing that you will notice is most of the goods in this particular store appear to be pre-owned or second-hand. A lot of them have sort of like scuffs and marks all over them. You can see that there's sort of like a set of scales and a set of jeweler's tools sort of like set out on the actual like main desk of the shop itself. You see that Enthal sort of like comes in and says, "Yes, well, unfortunately, I'm afraid that I'm not interested in the goods that you are hawking, so I'm afraid that we will not be able to make a deal today." And you see he sort of looks over at the other patrons in the store.
Well, that's a shame. We'll have to come back later when we have more business.
Yes, perhaps tonight,
Yes.
once the trade dies down in the city.
You've got yourself
Sounds good.
a deal.
Good.
I'll look at the rest
Fantastic.
and then I'll turn and leave.
Let me escort you to the door. And you
Thank
see
you.
he sort of like
Yes,
walks you
please, thank
over
you.
towards the main set of doors. And you see he sort of like whispers up towards some of you and goes, "Just so you know, today is election day in the city, so it's probably going to get rather rambunctious out and about. Watch yourselves, make sure that you're not getting involved in any issues. Meet back here tonight, and hopefully Jahira will be around."
Oh, hurrah.
Alright.
Election day.
Okay.
We'll see you later.
Wait,
then.
what just happened?
Well, it sounds like
I
well.
thought,
Yes,
what?
very good. Now please leave the store. We cannot make a deal today.
Yep. No more.
What?
You see he sort of
Did
ushers
we
you
come here
out.
to make a deal?
Serena, take a hint.
What?
Please.
Did you not get any of that? He was ushering us out because we're not supposed to be there, you know.
Wait, we're not supposed to.
We
but
just
we
got
actually
delivered to the
smuggled
store.
into a city, you know.
Oh my god.
There you go.
It's so secretive.
Right.
But why? We're allowed to be here, right?
Yeah. Yes. First part of call though. Nebulon, we've got a few options here. We either grab a few supplies, or I think we should probably look for where we're going to be getting on this caravan.
The caravan is quite the priority. Supply-wise, I mean, we could. How far ahead are we?
Darlings, let me just flex my expertise here. Clearly, most of you aren't urban city dwellers. It's not as simple as just walking in and getting hired onto a caravan. Our best bet will probably be to go over to the Wide, perhaps, and speak to some of the merchants who are planning expeditions north.
Great. You could do
What?
that for us then. Fantastic.
Well, I can. However, if what Enthal said was true, then it does look like it may or may not be election day, which throws a little bit of a spanner in the works because it means that most of the businesses are going to be closed. So I think best thing for us to do, find ourselves a nice, lovely brothel or
What are we gonna
tavern.
do there?
You've gotten into enough trouble
Drink
with
the
drink.
night away. Drink the night away. Celebrate our arrival in Bulba's Gate safely. Enjoy the throes of proper civilization, and then perhaps pick it up in the morning.
Would the bank be open today?
Together?
I'm sure it's probably closed today, so maybe we'll go tomorrow.
Okay, well, are you borrowing my money again?
But if you're offering, then sure.
That's my. You're gonna. Fuck. Alright, whatever.
As you guys step out onto Worm's Crossing, you again see this sort of insane mishmash of this tightly packed city street built on this sort of like river-spanning bridge. You can see these stacked houses, taverns, and shops rising along its length. You can see these sort of like oppressive balconies that come over, almost making a canopy over. You can see the sort of like midday sun shining through. You can hear the sounds of people yelling at each other. You can hear conversations in hushed tones. You can hear the sounds of bells and cattle being sort of like ushered through it properly. Anyone who wants to go ahead and make me a perception check.
Curious about a city.
I don't think I'm noticing
too.
anything, honestly.
That's
You know,
Guys,
as good
this
as it can
flyer
be,
says
literally.
that there's a temple district. Can we go?
Well, I've just used up my nat
You know,
20 for the session, so.
That's That's an 8.
That is a 7.
Hey, you guys suck.
I'm feeling
11 for
very,
me.
very intuitive with my nat 20, yeah.
Incredible. So, as you guys start to sort of like look out over the city proper, a few things catch your attention. On Worms Crossing in particular, there's almost like an overwhelming amount of stuff going on. As I say, there's sort of like clothesline hung above you. There's a few places that catch your immediate sort of attention. Behind you in the shadows, you can see what looks like this large imposing fortress built atop sort of the middle of Worms Crossing. You see a few different establishments that sort of begin to draw your attention towards them. You can see what looks like a humble sort of 2-story store. You can see a small sign reading Karma's Garm and a thread and a needle sort of like waving in the wind. You can see what looks like a plush sort of like dark wood exterior, what looks like a small sort of like pillow on a velvet sign with a woman blushing and looking out to sea reading the Sharer's Caress. In addition, as you sort of begin to make your way downwards and like looking around, you see a variety of merchants and brochures that are sort of littering the streets, almost like somebody's recently done a giveaway. Just this sort of like small covering all over the cobblestone streets of these little flyers that are sort of like plastered in certain places, and some of them are just like laying on the ground everywhere. And as you're doing this, Rail, you begin to sort of like look up towards the sky. As you do, you hear the sound of what appears to be wood breaking. As you hear this sort of, you see that one of the supports on a balcony overhead snaps in two, and you watch as the entire thing begins to sort of like tip, and you can see these 3 barrels begin to slide off the edge of the balcony. You can see standing underneath, you can see what appears to be a 6 to 7 year old girl, 2 sort of like humanoid males in sort of like active conversation, sort of arguing amongst each other, and what looks like a dwarven preacher sort of standing on a soapbox speaking some spiel about his god. What would you like to do?
I'm immediately just going to try and just push as many of them out the way of these barrels as I can.
Roll a dexterity saving throw for me.
Oh god, here we go.
Anyone who wants to roll initiative, if you beat 15, you can get involved in this.
Okay.
Okay, that's a 14.
I did not beat it.
I'm gonna say that I probably wouldn't react, as my perception check was abysmal. So I'm gonna say Nebulon does not see it. Just for the roll, I can't see away.
2d 50. So Kyra, Rael, and Vilka. So you guys see this sort of like wooden support of one of the balconies overhead crack and break, and these barrels begin to slide off. There are 4 people underneath it, a 7-year-old girl, 2 people in conversation, and a dwarven preacher. Rael, what are you doing?
I'm going straight for the young girl.
Incredible. Vilka, what about you?
I'm following his lead, so...
Incredible. And Kyra, how about you?
I would say go for the preacher.
Incredible. So as the barrels sort of like begin to fall, you hear the impacts. Rail, you manage to sort of like tackle the little girl onto the street away from the barrels. Bilko, who are you going for?
So I was following Rail, so as I see that he's got the little girl out of the way, I'm just gonna like come over and push the 2 people that were talking.
Incredible. Just roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Serena's just picking up a fly. Hey guys, I got what the fuck?
18.
Incredible. And I'll say that you sort of like forcefully just shove the 2 of them out of the way and jump back and step yourself. And Kyra, go ahead and roll me that dexterity saving throw.
Okay. That's an 8 again.
Incredible. So, as the balcony collapses on top of all of you, Rail, you manage to sort of tackle the little girl out of the way. You full sort of like roll to the other side of the street with her in your arms. I'll say that Vilka, you forcefully push the 2 men out of the way. They sort of land arse over tit on the floor. They sort of like go to yell before they see the barrels fall. And then Kyra, I'll say that you manage to sort of like push the dwarven preacher off of the soapbox, and he tumbles to the ground, and one of the barrels sort of lands and shatters directly next to you. You take 8 points of bludgeoning damage as you feel the shards of wood just cave into you, and it sort of like shreds a little bit of your left arm.
I should have casted shield.
and you guys see that as the barrels break, this sort of heavy waft of fish in the midday sun washes over all of you. It sort of like wets the ground around it, and you can see these still sort of like live fish flopping on the ground, and you see everybody begins to sort of like look in that direction, and thundering out of the front door, you can see this sort of like stout, sort of like elderly man, looks human in nature, sort of like balding, with just a crown of hair, looks like heavy, sort of had this like heavy like apron on, a cleaver in his hand, goes, "Safe!" Looks down at the broken fish. What am I going to do now?
You should have secured your fishes properly.
It's good stock and it's you see he begins to sort of like pick up some of the begins to pick up some of the fish and throw them back into his house. You can see that the two guys sort of like stand up and sort of dust themselves off, sort of like look over towards you, Vilka, and quickly sort of like make haste down towards Worm's Rock in the south. You can see the little girl sort of like
You were right,
head
child.
tucked deep. I think so. That was terrifying.
You're safe now.
Thank you, mister.
It's
I
okay.
appreciate it.
Have you got your folks that you can run off to? That was a really scary time for you.
Yes, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much. And you see that she sort of like picks up and quickly sort of begins to run towards the north end of the bridge.
Be safe.
You see a dwarven preacher sort of like, wait.
Are you
These are
okay?
expensive vestments. I'm quite alright if it wasn't for your barbaric shoving of me. Goodness.
You could have gotten hurt. Are you guys hurt? Who's hurt?
Kyra just kind of.
Alright, you're right.
Hand, but
I'll cure wounds you.
fine. Oh, thank you.
Honestly, this city is going to the dogs. You can see he sort of like waves a hand, picks up the remains of the soapbox, and begins to head towards the north of Worm's Crossing.
Is the guy who owns the shop still outside, or is he just...
Yeah, he's like picking up the fish and hurling them back into the shop.
I'm gonna walk up to him.
Kyra will like try to help as Rael is talking.
Have you got your building permits to hand?
It's
Yeah, it seems that you've got a severe structural failure that just put everyone at risk.
well, boo-hoo. Listen, all I'm concerned about is that the guild's going to be furious and the stock is ruined.
The guild? Who's the guild? Also, you should care about non-human lives as well. Every life.
Sweetie pie, welcome to Baldur's Gate.
What? Just because you're in the city doesn't mean that, like, laws don't apply and, like, human... No, not
You can see
human.
as this is going on, two sort of like armed guards. You can see that they have these heavy sort of like plate mail breastplates, long swords at their side. You can see the embezzlement of what looks like a flame with a fist in the center of it. You can see one of them appears to be high elven in nature, pointed ears, hair pulled back into a tight sort of like bun. You can see another appears to be like a male human in his mid to late 20s. You can see sort of like dark hair, sort of like spiked into a buzz cut. So like walks over and you see the high elf goes, "Citizens, what is going on?"
Just a little accident. I think it is managed now.
While Nebulon's talking
Right.
to this guard, I want to go over to kind
There's
of where the
negligence going
structural
on.
failure happened, and I want to have a look to see if it was man-made or if it was just a natural.
So it's
wearing
3
down.
stories up, and you can see in particular the way the houses are constructed on Worm's Crossing is very much sort of like favela vibes. It's sort of like wherever there's space, if there's space, you build on it. And all of the houses are constructed in the same sort of manner. You can see from like just a glance at some of the other houses, this is not the first time this has happened, and it will definitely not be the last.
Specifically, though,
Yes,
I want to see if it's like if it was done by people or if it was just by chance.
The wood itself appears to be like old and crooked, and you can also see that it's sort of like molded from what appears to be the exposure to the large amounts of water and the weight of the barrels of fish. It doesn't appear to have been anything nefarious in nature.
Just like I said,
Right.
just an accident. We're all fine now.
That's fine. I will need your public display of ineptitude tax, please. 5 gold pieces a head. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, I believe.
That's not a real thing.
Who? Us? We didn't.
Are you questioning
cause
a member of the gate? You see, he puts his hand on the hilt of his long sword.
No,
No need.
Are you going to kill us if we don't give you this tax? I mean, is that not...
Are you resisting the orders of a member of the Flaming Fist?
We saved people.
Yes, however, you have created a public disturbance. As such, you will be fined.
So it wouldn't have been
Alright.
disturbing if we hadn't done that and the thing had fallen down anyways?
The building was old and rotted. Unfortunately, this isn't out of our hands. This was
I
not
do
our
not care.
concern.
Let me make this perfectly clear. The Flaming Fist are the final point of authority here. What we say goes. And I say that you have created a public disturbance, and as such, you must pay a fine.
Renar, is this a
Can
real
I-
thing?
Of course, my dear man. I'll fucking pay him. We wouldn't want to make any disturbance, and you'll be recompensed for your time.
Alright, I'll hand the
Can
gold
I
over.
like?
Vilka will walk over to the guards and he
Good
will
day,
just-
citizens.
We will not make disturbance again. We apologize. It is all the excitement of the election day, sir. And
See to it
as-
that you don't.
and Azrael, you're giving out the money, Rael?
I'm just gonna have to pay it at this rate.
Yeah. You can take a bit from what Vilka gave you if you want.
Thank you. How much is it in total?
20 gold
Fine.
pieces total.
Yeah.
Okay,
This
and
is extortion.
here's an extra gold to make sure that it doesn't happen again if you see us.
Roll persuasion check.
Sure, 20, yeah.
You see, he sort of takes it, and you see he takes the 20 gold pieces and stores it in his pocket. And see to it that it doesn't. Come.
Liars.
You see, he turns to his apprentice and begins and continues their patrol of Worms Crossing.
This is going to be a fun trip. I mean, all right. I'm sure it's not all bad.
So you have to pay just for existing when you're in a big city?
I didn't know
This
that
is
either. I mean,
madness.
It is not that, Sorina. It is
I hope
just the way the
Neverwinter is not as
corruption
bad as
works
this.
here.
This, jeez.
A lot of guards in different cities tend to run things differently. These guys are more the uppity
But you're a
sorts.
guardrail.
I am,
A
but
guardrail. Sorry.
Not to be that guy or anything like that, but technically the Flaming Fist aren't as much as they are
this
mercenaries.
is true.
Uh,
Either way, we don't want to cause problems with them.
It's a very good idea not to run afoul of them, though, because it's very easy for them to just throw you in prison to rot.
We want to avoid that. It happens
Very
far
much
too
so.
often. Either way,
Yeah,
though,
I'm guessing
Picture
since
you. I didn't picture you as the prison rat soldier boy.
I'd prefer to stay out if I can, but it just looks like we have to be careful around these flaming fists. They're not the type I would like to be around at all.
they're not the type you want to run afoul of, let me tell you that for a fact.
I agree. Either way, though, we should probably continue our journey into Baldur's Gate.
We should find like a
Indeed.
base of
Wait,
operations of
yeah.
some kind.
What was that? Sorry, Nebula.
Well,
We should probably find like some sort of base of operations, no? Like a kind of tavern or something where we can kind of stay.
we should probably get into the city first. Not to
That's
be
what I
that
mean.
person or anything like that, but the outer city can be a bit.
Right? This is not the
Yeah.
city.
Vilka, do you know some good drinking spots in the heart of Baldur's?
I could think of a few places, but... And it will look especially towards Kira and Serena. Depends what type of places you're looking for.
Somewhere with music.
And I'll just...
Well, I'm going to say this for an absolute
Warm
fact. We're
places.
probably not going to get into any tavern in the upper city with our party makeup. So somewhere in the lower city, maybe?
Any ideas?
I'm not even going to ask.
I mean, Vilke, you seem to be the other Baldurin expertise here. Perhaps the elf song, maybe?
That sounds
Any
nice.
places you are going to, we are not going to. So where are you going, Green?
No. We are going with him this time. I'm not letting you out of my sight, Renar.
Maybe
Well,
you
in that
two-
case,
like
be
that
prepared that we are going to take a little trip to the Sheriff's Crest later tonight because I have a date with a set of drow twins.
Oh,
Wait, when did you set that up? We just got here.
But like this, they are happy to have walk-ins as long as they have a very nice and valuable last name.
And who are you gonna pay them?
How do you know
then?
they're free?
That's why Rail's coming.
What?
What?
Jeez. Okay. Right.
if
Okay,
we do
I
end
guess-
up going there, I'm most likely gonna stay outside.
You are not going to go there, Kira.
On a date, I don't see the
Let's
problem.
You
take
have
it.
to spend time with
God,
the drow.
let's
No,
I'd
Nebula,
like to do it
it's
with
not-
you,
Steven,
Vilka.
you will
It's
be
not-
fine there.
Oh. Am I missing
Well,
something?
clearly
I
you're
think-
all fish out of water. Well, would you like me to direct you to the outer city?
You are not
Do you know
going
the
to
way?
direct
Wait,
A nice
how-
tavern with music or something.
And warm rooms. Or at least one with a fireplace.
I can't believe I'm saying this.
Oh.
Lead the way, Renar.
Are we trusting this guy?
Follow me! And you see that
We
Renar sort
have
of
to.
excitedly begins to make his way down the remains of Worm's Crossing.
I'll just turn to the rest of you guys and I'll just say, look, Vilka's knowledge of Baldur's Gate is enough to get us out of trouble. At least Renar's knowledge of the city is good enough to get us some place where we might be relatively secure as long as we keep him out of trouble.
God damn it! Somebody needs to clean up these streets. And you see he sort of like pulls one of the flyers off of his boot and sort of like throws it out into the air. Right, come on.
Do you say that to me as well, Royal?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Vilka's
Like,
gonna-
you know enough to get us out of trouble.
Vilka's gonna like look up straight ahead, not addressing you.
I think Nebula will pick up one of the
Classic
flyers
Nebula.
that Renard just.
Oh yeah, can
discarded.
we look at the flyer?
You certainly can. As you sort of like pick up the flyers, you can see that one side of it is stamped with a sigil of what looks like a silvered goblet with an eye in the center of it. Sorry, a sun in the center of it.
What?
And as you sort of like turn it onto its back, you guys can see it sort of reads, it's what looks like some kind of pamphlet. Looks like it reads The Noble Duty. And as you sort of like look over it, you can see this fine sort of like calligraphy. The Noble Duty, citizens of Baldur's Gate. Remember this, it was not the dukes and the lord who brought chaos upon our city, but the mob. The Absolute's false promises thrive in alleyways, not in manor halls. The fires of rebellion were stoked by the rabble, not those ordained by Seamorph to rule with wisdom and grace. Now is the time to restore what was lost. Under Lazaro, guided by Seamorph's will, the Council of Four will be made whole once again. The nobles shall reclaim their rightful place as guardians of Baldur's Gate, and the Flaming Fist will serve where it's needed most, protecting our city's sacred heart, not wasted on ungrateful throngs who brought us ruin. Support Lazaro, support Order, support the noble destiny of Baldur's Gate.
Double-sided print. That's pretty fancy. This guy must be kind of rich.
Looks like we've come into
What?
something very interesting. Maybe the
Is this the election stuff? that they were
yeah, this
talking
is
about?
going to be
Probably.
the future of Baldur's Gate. Let's see who gets in next. Did
Interesting.
anyone hear
Let's
anything
hope-
about this? What's this absolute that I've been hearing so much about?
I'm not sure
Not
about the
sure?
absolute.
May I was gonna ask if I could roll a history check.
Roll a history check.
That's a 17.
So the Absolute was a sort of cult which rose up about 6 to 9 months ago, particularly in the south of the Sword Coast. Seems like They were followers of some strange abstract idol by the name of the Absolute. During that time, they recruited a large amount of followers, particularly in Wraithwyn, which is where you passed by before, which had Moonrise Towers in it. Also seemed like there was some kind of issues particularly centered in Baldur's Gate with the Absolutists rising up against the people of the city. From what you remember hearing on a 17, there was something to do with the Dead Three, and a large portion of the city was almost completely destroyed by this enormous sort of like riot that broke out earlier in the year.
Okay. Kyra will just say pretty much that and just go, it was very strange. I read about it occasionally. I heard whispers.
Very well studied. That was a very in-depth detail, actually. Interesting. I like that.
read.
As you guys step from the cobblestone streets and the bustle and shadows of Worms Rock and Worms Crossing, you find yourselves in the Twin Songs district. You find yourselves on this small sort of like district passed along on the edge of the cliffside of the Chionthar River. You can see various sort of shrines and shops and stalls are crowding the streets of this particular part of Baldur's Gate and the outer city at large. You can see various priests sort of like tending to various shrines to all manner of gods around you. You can see in particular, lined along the streets, what appear to be several sort of like merchant booths that have been set up. What look like people, either holy, sort of like clerics and vicars of various faiths, some perhaps swindlers, sort of like hawking what look like holy trinkets and like these sort of like relics for various prices. You can see that you can feel the air sort of like thick with this incense and wood smoke and like brine from the river. You can see children sort of like rushing through the crowd. You can see one of them sort of like immediately runs up and tugs on your coat, Vilka. You can see this sort of like dirty sort of like peasant boy. Looks like he's maybe about 5 or 6. You can see he's got this sort of like deep amethyst purple skin, 2 sort of like small horns curling up, and his sort of like matted black greasy hair. You can see these 2 sort of like burning coals for eyes. He looks up at you and goes, "Excuse me, sir, can you spare a copper, please?"
Which, sir? Oh.
Vilka.
Vilka will give him a gold piece and say, "Now scurry your head now, and stay away from the buckets."
I was gonna rob you, but I'll take that. Guys, and bites into it and runs back into the crowd.
You're such a good person.
You see that Renas.
But you're so soft inside.
You see that Renas looks over and goes, "You need to be very careful of the brats here. They have very sticky fingers."
Don't be rude. You're
As you sort of like pass by, everybody roll me a perception check as you're all sort of like moving through the Twin Songs district.
As well, what I'm going to do is I am going to take my gold pouch off and I'm going to kind of like put it underneath
I mean,
my
did this
That's a 14.
like, did this kid openly admit he's gonna rob him, like to all of us? Then
Yep.
I'm definitely gonna do the same. I'm gonna put my my coin purse directly in my bag or something.
Yeah,
okay.
mine's going like
Right,
that.
Kyra's like putting
this is not
her
good.
spell book and things in her like robe.
Was this a
and-
perception check as well, sorry?
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
10.
I got a 14.
Oh, wait. 17.
Rail
6.
and Vilka.
12.
Cool. As you guys are sort of passing through, there's almost like a cacophony of noise coming from both sides of you. A few things sort of like catch your attention. You can see what looks like a preacher standing on this rather large sort of like makeshift podium of various crates and things. You see what looks like a gold skin, sort of, sorry, yeah, like a crimson red skinned tiefling. You can see he's wearing bright white robes, has this sort of 1,000-yard stare in his eyes, has a book in one hand and what looks like a quarterstaff in the other. You see he's sort of like yelling, "The second companion comes! Every day it gets close to us! The sins of Baldur's Gate will drag the city again! Just my name is an elf 18 months ago! Heed my warning!" And next to him you can see what looks like a halfling, sort of like strumming a lute, is sort of like singing along. "Singing the story people talking shit. Another little tiefling talking at his horse. Hey, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. It's coming. I can feel the heat of the sun every day. And now he's speaking more lies every day. And as you continue, as you sort of like continue to like move through, you can see what looks like a large cabal of people at the northern end of the sort of like two songs. You can see that they're all wearing these sort of like gorgeous sort of like silvery robes that shimmer with a metallic feel. You can see they have these large stacks of pamphlets. You can see they're handing them out to all passers-by. And as you sort of approach, you see one of them looks up towards your group, and they both sort of like hand you flyers matching that of Seamorph that was previously on the bridge.
I immediately hand mine to Kyra and just signal her to burn it.
Is she just... Anybody else before I burn this?
Mine.
She, like,
One for like souvenir
Is she-
purposes.
It's like...
A great day for the citizens of Baldur's Gate! A great day! A great day!
Yes, she's like, watch this, and just like tosses the papers up into the air, and then. Just
I
fuck.
know. This is exactly what Duke Lazaro warned us all about. The mob. You can see it keeps passing them out to people as they sort of like pass by. You see that sort of like Renar takes one. Huh. That's
Do you know
fun.
this guy?
Throws it over the shoulder. No, not him. I know his family.
Oh,
Anyway,
what do you know
so-
about him?
I have a
What do you
feeling I
mean?
know that's what to do with. Is it her again?
Oh no, it's the Castellantas. They're a banking family in Waterdeep. Nothing too interesting, really.
Okay.
Anyway, so this next district's going to get a little bit funny, as it were. This is So's Foot, and you guys see that as you head north, begin to round Duskhawk Hill. The noise sort of like begins to change from prayer to industry. As you walk into So's Foot, the mud sort of like begins to thicken around you. Every step you take is sort of like wet with the mulch of sort of like well-trodden earth beneath you, sort of like pools of water and these large sort of like vats of mud everywhere. You immediately can hear the sounds of what sounds like oxen and swine bellowing in their pens. As you sort of like lift up your shoes, those of you who are wearing colors can see the thick sort of like crimson red color of blood around you, and you begin to like hear the churning of like industrial machines tearing through sort of like hordes of cattle, as it were. You can see several butchers outside slamming cleavers down into like large hunks of meat, and you can see like what looked like pigs and sheep sort of like hung from what looked like large steel lines dripping blood into buckets beneath.
No!
Kyra's just like holding Leor very close to her, like.
This is just for mainly cattle and stuff, you know, if people gotta eat.
I
You,
The
figured.
cows can see the other cows being killed.
Just an unfortunate part of...
You see one of the largest slaughterhouses is this enormous sort of like wooden barn building. You can see these sort of like large pen of like over like 30 cows on one side and pigs on the other. You can see that some of them are being like ushered in. A large sort of like rickety sign hangs half off a hinge reading Ham Hock Slaughterhouse. And you hear a sort of bolt gun being fired into the head of a cattle.
I really hope they aren't. I'd say they are scared, in which case they'll probably taste a bit gamey. At least that's what Father used to say.
And I
You could
cast
taste
calm
the beer.
emotions on all the cows.
You see one of the cows looks to you and a single tear sort of like slides down its face.
No! Kyra's
God.
just like putting her hands over Serena's eyes, just like, come on, come on.
No, I need to calm them down.
I'll
I
just
need to
get
calm
Kyra
down.
and Serena arms around both of them, and I'll just shuffle
Oh,
them back
don't be
forwards.
babies. Have you never seen a slaughterhouse before? Welcome to the big city.
I've
How do you
seen
think? You know, they don't the cows don't just, you know, shit out burgers and things like that. They have to be processed and, like, slaughtered. That's how meat is made.
You think I don't know that? I'm just saying that don't need to make it so in cow mane, you know? Like,
You can do it
Vegans.
humanely.
And you see that Renar sort of like leads you around a turn of Duskcore Kill. You can see, interestingly enough, now that you're sort of like next to Duskcore Kill, there is a large sort of like wooden barbed wire fence that's been erected around the entirety of Duskcore Kill. Nearly 10 foot tall. You can see this sort of like wicked barbs sort of like all lining the sort of like topmost layer of the fence.
wickedly curved.
Indeed.
A wickedly curved wall. I'll take notice of that. Just inspecting it up and down, just seeing the best way that they've done, you know, securing the barbed wires. Just just standard wall things.
You guys
keep
begin
mentioning
to-
walls. I mean, I find that quite fascinating. No.
Very interesting.
One of those weird things that you take, you know, a liking to. In Kyra's sense, it's her books. In my case, it's something that keeps bad things out.
Books and shinies, and occasionally flowers.
I've got to ask, how come Greenish didn't have a wall if you were in charge? Did you try to encourage it? Or
Oh,
like,
I tried to encourage it for a long time.
I see.
Aw.
Well, okay.
Well, it wouldn't have mattered in terms
Something
of
we
dragon
learned
because,
about our friendly rail.
Well, yeah, I wanted to put one around like the majority of the city, but they were like, "Oh yeah, we don't need a wall. We don't need a wall." Well,
Really?
I don't really want to.
I bet they regret that now.
Well,
I'll put my hand on his shoulder.
yeah, I
You
don't.
tried your best.
I know.
Sure.
I don't really want to think about all the people who died because I didn't put up a wall.
Sorry.
The wood
Right.
wouldn't have helped, and you know that.
I
Let's
know.
move on.
Hey, it could have slowed them down. You never know. No, it wouldn't have helped.
Fair.
As
Anyway,
you
let's carry
guys
on.
round the hill, a steep incline sort of takes you around the western edge of Duskcore Hill. You see, as you begin to like round up the hill and sort of smell of offal and sounds of the slaughterhouses behind you begin to disappear, you find yourself in tightly packed streets. You can see here in this particular section, sort of like on the actual incline of the hill, architectural marvels are sort of like plastered everywhere. These houses made out of like discarded bricks that have sort of been like laid on top of each other. Nary a pane of glass in sight. Sort of like these sort of large like stretches of cloth that have been like hung over what look like these like small wooden structures. A veritable shanty town, if you will. Just this rows and rows of tightly packed houses made from any materials that can be found. Overturned wagons that have then had like sort of large like pieces of tarp stretched over them to sort of provide shelter. You can see various sort of like peasants sort of like lying in compromising positions, a few sort of like drinking and begging as you pass by. See that Renar sort of like keeps closer to you again, Rael, and goes, "This is not a great place to be."
Well, we'll be out of here as soon as we can.
Everybody.
And eventually,
Keep your coin purses close, guys. I'm just gonna check for mine really quick, just to see if I still have it.
cool. Roll a perception check for me.
19.
Cool. As you sort of like go down to grab your coin purse, you feel what appears to be a hole in your pocket. You can see that coins have been very, very slowly trickling out. How much gold do you have in your person? Total?
That's a lot.
It was under my chest plate. I had for
You have
fuck's
so
sake,
much of our money.
495.
Incredible. So, as you sort of like check the coin purse that's on your sort of like underneath your breastplate, you check the small sort of like section of money that Vilka gave you, and you notice that it appears as though 9 gold pieces are sort of poured out of it.
Son of a goat!
Wait, if we look behind us, is there just like a
what's wrong?
trail of gold?
Rael,
You can see various sort of like small footprints of children who've been picking up the coins as you sort of like pass by.
I'm just gonna make sure it's completely reinforced and, you know, take all of the gold, put it back underneath my chest plate.
Cool.
And I'm gonna
You alright,
tie it.
Rael?
I've just lost 9 gold. I don't know why, but there's a hole in my purse, even though it's a different one. Doesn't matter. It's just
Vilka is gonna slightly
check mine
smirk
too.
at that and just turn around.
I'm
Cool. While this is happening, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nebulon, roll a perception check for me, please.
Why? That's much better. That's a 16 plus. I'm pretty sure it's a 6, but I'll double check. Perception, no, plus 5. So that is 21.
Incredible. As you're sort of like walking along the streets, you hear a shout from above you. And you manage to stop yourself as the chamber pot is empty directly above your head, and you just see this sort of like waste and water sort of like splatter onto the floor.
Duck out the way, dodge out the way. Oh. I'll move.
Sorry!
It's all right. That's beautiful.
It's at this point where you sort of like look down at your feet, Nebulon, and you notice that you've been walking through what appears to be a very shallow, sort of stinking river of sorts. What looks like this very sort of like slow decline in this indent where like chamber pots have been being emptied out of the row of houses here over and over again, and this very gentle trickle of human waste flowing down towards flowing down towards the slaughterhouses of the So's Foot.
Okay, right. Just give me a second. I'll sort of take a step to the right out of that stream, and I'll sort of. I'm gonna.
See, as you're doing this, you watch as a man sort of like rushes over with rags. You can see he's shirtless and looks very gaunt and sort of like pale. You see he rushes over, smiles at you with barely any teeth in his mouth at all, sort of thinning hair, dark bags under his eyes, and begins to sort of like clean your shoes very quickly with a rag. It's all right, sir. It's all right. I've got your shoes clean. Nice for you. Spits on your shoes and continues to clean them. All right. 5 silver pieces, please.
All right. You know what? You look like a nice man. At which point I'll stand him up. At which point I'm going to try and do an insight check to see if this is an act or if this is his entire life. Is this just his lifestyle?
Roll an insight check.
Yeah, I just want to double check. 'Cause 16 again, but my insight is less. It's plus 3, so 19.
Cool. You notice a striking similarity between him and the man who poured the chamber pot down from the 3rd floor. They look like they have a familial resemblance of some kind, and it's at this point that you and everybody else also notices what looks like a teenage boy, sort of like gaunt, peeling over with a small dagger sort of like towards Nebulon's coin purse.
I
trying to just tear a slit into it. Yes, you also notice that.
I'm gonna turn to the person with the knife and just say, if you're going to do that, at least be a bit better with your stealth.
I'm sorry, sir. I slipped.
Right, I see.
And you see that he sort of like quickly grabs any coins that you sort of like had in your hand and begins to dash off into the alleyways.
Can I
He would have
try
pulled
and
out a
grab-
single gold piece, so
Cool.
I assume he would have just snapped that gold piece out of my hand.
Wow.
Oh, man,
it's so
that-
expensive
Can
to
I
be
try
here.
grabbing him as he's running off?
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll me an opposed athletics check. Who are you tackling, the dad or the son?
I'm not tackling him. I'm just gonna try and pick the son up.
Cool, go ahead.
How old is he? Like, is this a child or like a?
Looks like he's about 13.
Opposed
Oh, okay.
opposed athletics, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that is a 22.
And you sort of like pick him up by the scruff of his rags and I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean any harm by it.
Nebulon, do you want to help this one out, or?
Actually, I had an idea. Just hold him there for a second, please.
Oh,
I'll sort of approach over. I'm assuming he's dangling him in the air.
Yeah, he's literally.
As you're having this conversation, you hear a shout. Eric's dead! Leave him behind! Let's go! Quick!
At that point, I'll gesture up to the sky and I'll say, your friends have abandoned you a little bit, no?
Well, it's not so much abandoning, it's every man for himself out here, isn't it? You gotta do what you gotta do to survive, sir. That's all it is.
I'll sort of lean forward. What's your name, friend?
Derek.
Right. Just in case they were bullshitting, but yes, Derek.
See, he scratches a sword that's sort of like on the edge of his neck a little bit.
How about this? I know for a fact that you have eyes and ears in this city, correct?
I do, yes, sir.
Right. Well, Derek, at which point I will, I'm going to do this. I'm going to grab his hand and I'm gonna cast guidance, and I'll make it really obvious that like blue starlight touches his skin. Now that is a magical mark if you've ever seen one before. And I'll tell you exactly what it does. It makes you feel amazing, but really, I can see exactly where you are and who you're with. Now, I'll pull out 2 gold pieces. I'll make this worth your while. What if you can get us information we need and meet us at a certain place at a certain time? Then maybe this gold will land in your pocket, no?
What sort of information are you looking for, sir?
Well, I don't know yet, but I want you to meet me. I'll then turn to Vilka. Is there any place that's like I could meet?
I will say this, sir. I can't actually get into the city. You see, it's the swords. The fists don't let me in.
Can I take a look at that?
Okay.
If you would like to.
I mean,
We'll come to that in 2 seconds.
Rook, how about this? You could be my eyes and ears in the outer city instead. Hmm?
Oh, I can do that, yeah.
I'll put 1 gold piece away, and I'll offer him the gold. Oh, and please stop trying to shine people's shoes.
I'm just
You're
gonna
a friend of a
reach
bandit
and touch
pretty
your
quickly.
hand there, Nebula, and I'll just say payment on completion, kid.
You heard him?
Can I keep the gold?
No.
No.
I trust
What about the one that, what about the one that my dad took?
You mean the one that he stole from me? No?
Yeah.
You think that's all right? Fine. That's payment done. I'll pocket the gold. You can have that one instead if your dad can give it back. To
Oh,
you.
yeah.
And Serena, as you sort of like walk over towards him, you can see this sort of like heavily scabbed sword, like sort of like on the edge of the neck.
How did you get?
Go ahead and make a medicine check for me.
Okay. I'm good at this shit. Ha! 24 bitches.
Cool. As you sort of look, it looks like it's a basic fungal infection, probably from sleeping somewhere in its like somewhere damp for several days.
Do you sleep in this shit river?
Oh, no, just up the road.
Okay.
It's been raining and the house collapsed a couple of days ago, so.
So, for some reason, in my inventory, I have 2 sets of clothes. I don't know why, but can I, like, give him, like, a tunic or something? Just be like, hey, you need to switch out so you stay warm. Like, wear this, and also don't
Clothes?
sell it,
Oh.
though. Like, it's not worth a
I'm
lot.
gonna be,
It's just for
I'm gonna be a
And,
real fancy man now.
Does it look like something like lesser restoration or cure wounds? With
Oh
your-
yeah, absolutely. A lesser restoration or a cure wounds would probably get rid of the most of the infection.
I'll give him a lesser restoration.
You
just in
see, he's
case
a
he felt poisoned or something.
Winces a little bit as you touch it, and you watch as the wound sort of like closes over and begins to heal. You see, he looks up at you and goes,
So
Are you an angel?
kind of, I'm like a dragon angel, but like
I'm
so
still
what you need
dangling
to
him
know
in
is
front of you, by the way.
good things happen to you if you do good things. So you should be nice.
roll
to
persuasion check
people.
with disadvantage.
Oh man, why do you always make me do it badly? I'm already bad at it.
He's a street rat. What do you think?
Shut up! Shut up! Oh, that's a 2.
Well, maybe next time I'll actually shine some shoes.
Work hard and be a decent, upstanding person. Don't listen to your dad. He's a bad influence.
He's left. You're
Probably-
right. I mean, he's gone.
Oh, it's alright. It's what happened to me brother last year, no.
And also, don't
What hap-
sleep in damp places or you'll get an infection again, and that's not fun, right? You know that. So, stay warm and stuff.
And I'll get this kid and I'll lower him down at the floor and I'll take a knee and I'll.
And as soon as he touches the floor, he's going to immediately try and run away from you, so make an opposed athletics check.
Oh, absolutely. My dice today, man. My dice today.
Well, it doesn't matter because that was a 2. -1 is a 1, so go ahead.
Right, and I'll
Congrats, you captured a child.
as he's trying to run off, I'll grab him by the scruff again and like place him in front like a disappointed uncle. I'll put both hands on my shoulders and I'll like stare into his eyes. Right. You don't need to run, but now with those new clothes and with your welts finally gone, looks like you might be able to make it into the city. And when you do, tell me, kid.
I'm gonna go flog him down in Rivington. Get 4 gold pieces for these easy.
But just think, if you're in the city, you'll be able to make a lot more money. Now, have you ever heard of the Harpers before, child?
No.
Well, the Harpers are this really cool spy agency out, along Faerun and along the Sword Coast. And just think, now you can start up a mini version called the Scrappers.
Roll an insight check.
That's a 13.
You get the impression that he understood about 20% of what you just said.
I am.
So now you are a super cool spy. If you want to make some more money, learn how to get into Baldur's Gate.
When do I get my wings?
Your wings?
If I'm gonna be a super cool fly, when do I get my wings?
No, spy.
What's that?
Imagine what you're doing now, but better.
So like my dad?
Like your dad, but better.
So like my uncle?
Sure, like your
He's the
uncle.
one he's the one who throws the piss from upstairs.
No, what you're going to do is you're going to go into Baldur's Gate and you're going to find out as many things as you can. As much information as you can find. Take all your friends, find your friends, take them too. And go and have a good look around.
At this conversation, like, have we just figured out that he has no concept of retaining any information?
I don't think he will.
His
but
his eyes look a little bit dead inside. It's just, it seems like a very uneducated kid who's a little bit...
Like they'll developmentally behind as well, or is
A
he-
little bit.
Okay.
Alright.
How old are you, buddy?
I don't know.
Is it more than this or less than this?
What
Do you
that
know
is?
the numbers? 1.
No.
Oh.
Dear.
I never learned to count, I'm afraid.
How do you know how much money you have then? You said you had 4 gold pieces.
Well, yeah.
You see, he
So how
takes
many gold pieces of years have you lived?
I don't know.
Do you know what a year is?
I ain't counted.
Do I think?
Right.
Do I see this kid having like a coin purse on him or anything?
Nope.
No. Okay, just making sure.
Barely has a shirt. It's more of a sack with the arms
now
cut
he has
out.
a tunic, so
Right.
I feel
I'm gonna
bad.
let this kid
Can I
go.
go now?
I'm gonna let this kid go. Go on, be off with you.
Oh,
okay, don't
Bye.
do bad
Kids
stuff.
scurry away after his dad.
Isn't it
Poor Derek.
strange? Isn't it strange how
Oh,
kids are raised in
That
the
was
outer
really
cities?
sad.
See,
I wouldn't
these-
be... Listen, I think we all need to be very aware of the fact that, much like there are mice and rats, one of them are kept as domesticated pets and one of them are vermin. That's what people are like too.
You remember
You
when we
need
were
to-
talking about the whole let's start a school for the kids? This is why, so they don't turn out like this.
Kids like that are not welcome in my school.
They can be.
Before then, rich people only?
Yes, of
That's not
course.
right.
That's disgusting.
As you guys continue to walk along the long and barren streets of Whitkeep, you eventually find yourself into the sort of like the topmost part of the hill. And as the road sort of like bends westward, you begin to hear the sounds of what seems like chanting rising from this particular neighborhood. You can see that there are various sort of like makeshift temples and chapels sort of like close together. You can hear like the constant like fighting of bells from like various different locations. In addition, you can see what appears to be a large walled settlement, this sort of like large circular part of the city, which has these almost like 10-foot tall stone walls surrounding it, at the center of which there is a sort of like spire that raises above in the middle of it.
Rail's just gonna stand back and look like a really proud dad, and he's gonna go, "That's what a good wall looks like."
Wow. I think there's a street artist over here. Do you want like a portrait together with the wall rail?
No, we it'll take far too much time. We need to
I think
Begin
it's
to
all
smell
fine.
this sort as you sort of like move through the streets of Northchapel. You begin to like from over the wall smell this thick scent of like spice and roasted lamb drifting. You can hear the sounds of music from inside. You can hear the cries of merchants in sort of like thick, almost alien accents to most of you. Those of you who aren't Kyra and Quill would recognize these accents as Kalashite. You can sort of like see large like swaths of silk are sort of like hanging from over the walls. And you can see that sort of like standing at a gated sort of like what am I thinking of?
Community?
Like a castle when it has the gate coming down on it.
Portcullis.
A palisade.
Portcullis.
A portcullis, yes. You can see the sort of like thick iron portcullis with sort of like 4 guards dressed in like this sort of like chainmail armor with brightly colored sort of like clothes underneath. All of them with sort of like bronze skin and like this sort of like thick sort of intense eyes watching over, arms folded. You see that Renar at this point sort of like turns to you all and goes, "Well, that's little Callumshan, and good luck getting in there for sure. They don't really like outsiders much."
Kyra's
What
like
is it?
staring, like upon hearing the language. I really want to go in, but and she'll like look at everybody.
What?
I mean,
what
we
is
can
it, Kyra?
try.
There's absolutely no chance we're getting into little Callumshan. I'm going to say that for a fact.
Well, there we go.
Especially not on election day.
What is this place?
It's little
It's-
Callumshan.
It's a lot like, well, not really a lot like home, but it's kind of like it's like a little part of it, really. At least from what I've been told by Mom and you know.
Is it?
So-
Do they have fire people?
They, you know what? I've never actually been here, but they might. They might. And if they do, I would like to know.
Quill,
more.
you would know
You
that
can
the history of genies and the history of Callumshan is very closely sort of like linked in place. The sort of like the country itself was sort of established by Afriti slavers, essentially.
Kalashites have a close connection to the elemental planes. Perhaps we will see them.
Oh, maybe Kyra can get in.
Maybe if I tell them that you all are with me, maybe you can come too.
We can be your entourage or something.
I mean, what leverage do we have? We have a famous noble and a fire genasi. So if you want to try and get in, by all means, but I don't think we're getting in anytime soon.
I mean, it is
Well, we
election
can
day.
always
We could
try,
try a
right?
different. Granted, it is election day. We could try a different day if we don't feel comfortable doing today.
Well, it depends how long we're here. We need to be out of here on the convoy as soon as possible. We don't have long until you know who arrives.
I forgot we had plans.
We do. As much as I don't want to push you forward, guys, we've got somewhere to. Well, we've got to scout out and find as much information as possible.
I suppose I could find something for Mom later. And she'll like make a mental note of like exactly where it is and then keep walking.
As you guys sort of like round past Northchapel and Little Callumshan, you see that the hill sort of begins to descend very severely again. Eventually, you begin to watch as the sort of like chapel district give way to what appeared to be like artisan craft houses. You can see stonemasons, what look like leather workers with these sort of like large swaths of leather sort of like out and curing and drying. In addition, you can see the large outer wall of Baldur's Gate standing vigil and tools separating the lower city from the outer city. You can see at the gate what appears to be this enormous sort of cluster of wagons and citizenry trying to sort of like get through the gate. And as you sort of like round down into the Stony Ice district, you watch as a member of the Flaming Fist. You can see that he looks to be dwarven, has sort of like fiery red hair thinning at the top, wearing the tabard and the sort of like chainmail armor, short sword at his side, sort of approaching and goes, "Excuse me."
Well met.
Well met. I'm here to collect the pre-check toll for entrance to the city.
Is this normal? We have like permission, I think.
Rechecked.
Indeed.
So what are you doing? You just checking us down?
Well, I have to just quickly pat you down, make sure that you don't have any illegal substances on you, and I'll also need to collect 10 gold pieces for the entrance of your party.
Just
Yeah,
10 for the entire party, right?
Indeed.
All right.
No,
I'm
Rail,
hearing-
you've already done that. Allow me. I'll hand 10 gold pieces.
So are you
And-
gonna charge us for breathing next, or what?
Thank you very much. That'll be all. And you see, before he even checks you down, he sort of like looks over at the gate. Oh, this is awful. Well, I'll be back. And you see he runs down into sort of like the merchants and the wagons.
What?
Damn it. I'm too naive. I'm not very good in cities. I'm not.
I think you might have just got swindled, Nebulon.
I think I did. I'm more. I grew up in a really small hamlet, and I trained in a monastery for a long time. Practically a
I'm going to
monastery.
say
I don't
this,
know what it was.
maybe give somebody with a little bit more urban awareness about them, because fun fact about Baldur's Gate, they say that every 20 steps costs at least 5 gold pieces.
Right.
I feel that.
Right.
Oh.
I'm going to be putting my foot down quite severely on these people from now on, I think. But, yeah, let's keep our coin purses even tighter.
I agree. That's a good idea.
Renar, speak
expensive.
up if you see something you're not too fond of.
Incredible. Now, as you guys start to like approach the Basilisk Gate, you can see that sort of like graffitied on the outer wall of Baldur's Gate in large like black letters. You see "Take back the gate" sort of like scrawled in this heavy black paint. You can see this sort of like a large cabal of people sort of gathered around Basilisk Gate. You can hear the sounds of what seems like a rabble sort of like beginning to raise an aggression.
What's going on here? Do you want to stay back and just see what happens for a minute before we use our leverage to get through?
Maybe we shouldn't get involved.
I'm agreed to that.
We have been
Just stand
seen
back.
enough as it is.
What does it look like?
What's that?
What does it look like? Like a fight, or?
No. It just seems like there's a large sort of like gathering of people trying to push into Basilisk Gate, being stopped at the gate. Everyone who wants to go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll see what the question's about. Natural 20.
I'm glad you got that. Mine was a 9.
19!
24.
15.
Incredible.
Some perception.
So, as the rest of you sort of start to move down towards the crowd, you begin to hear like the rumblings of things. You begin to hear people like talking amongst each other and go, "Flaming Fist patrols are already coming through less and less. It's not even been a day since Lazaro was elected. This has got to be a joke, and am I not letting us into the city? What is going on here?" You begin to sort of like see various people sort of like agitatingly shouting at what looks like the portcullis closed on the Basilisk Gate. You can see what looks like a cabal of 20 Flaming Fist soldiers sort of like gathered around it, keeping people at bay. Say, "Not while the election is happening. I'm afraid that the city is closed to outsiders for today."
I think I've got an idea.
And on a natural 20, Tom, Nebulon, I'll say, as you're sort of like sidling into the crowd proper, you begin to hear what sounds like two sort of like silk merchants discussing amongst each other. "This Scale Society saying that the Companion's fall was the fault of faithless commoners. I'm telling you this, the gods didn't keep us safe, and by the looks of it now, the nobles aren't going to be doing much of a job for it either." You see the other one sort of like turns and goes, I can't deal with this. It's already hard enough getting into the gate, and now this as well.
There's a lot going on.
A lot is going on. So, what would be the general gist from that? Is it just that they're just pure frustration? That's the general vibe I'm getting here.
The frustration and concern.
Yeah. There is a lot more to this than we anticipated. I think that the city is a little bit on the brink of something, it sounds like to me.
I agree,
We've got
but...
to find a way to get in, but...
Oh, we have a way
could
to
use
get in.
leverage. Right, I suggest we do it quickly then, if we can.
Right, let's push as close to the front, but just keep Renar in sight and make sure he's, like, towards the front and me at the same time.
Incredible. Everybody, as you're pushing through the crowd, go ahead and roll me perception checks, please.
Okay.
Ooh, shout out to the 2 crew.
That's a 5.
Well,
15, 9, no,
6.
14. That's 5.
Okay, so who scored below a 15?
Right. Everyone. Great.
So, I will say this. Everybody, I'm assuming that at this point everyone's concealing their coin purses, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Cool.
No
Good to
question
know.
on that one.
And as you push through the sort of main bulk of the crowd, you eventually find yourselves face to face with this sort of like collection of flaming fists. As they're sort of all like, stand back, will not be allowed entrance into the city today. We told you.
And I'm going to speak, I'm not going to go... actually, how close are we at the guards at this point?
Almost like they're holding people like about 3 or 4 feet back from them. A few of them have weapons drawn, sort of like standing vigil. So you're like within speaking distance.
All right, brilliant. In that turn, I'm gonna shout and I go, everyone make space! He needs to get past! And I'll just be pushing everyone out of the way, making sure Renar can actually get up to the guards and say, is this any kind of reception for nobility here? He's supposed to be here to make sure that what is going on today is going to affect...
make space! Make space, peasants!
Brilliant, and I'll just give him a quick nudge. I'll just go,
Cool,
you,
go ahead and roll
Flaming
persuasion with
Fist.
advantage.
Make sure that you let him in. Ooh, okay, that's an 18.
You there. What party do you represent? Who is this?
This is Renar Never Ember, and we are here today as his personal guard to make sure that the new election in the city is good for Neverwinter. Now, please let us pass.
You see a few of them sort of like hear the name Never Ember and sort of like look to one another. Let him through, let him through, let him through.
Thank
You see a few people sort of like begin to jeer at that point and spit on you, Rail, and Renar as you sort of like pass by. Of course the fucking nobles get in! What a fucking surprise!
I'm just going to ignore him as I'm just basically like guarding Renar and just pushing him through, turning back and making sure all of our party is getting
Roll a
through as
dexterity
well.
saving throw.
Okay, ooh, dexterity. That is a 17.
Cool. You feel like you hear the sound of a squelch as a tomato sort of like splatters into your leftmost shoulder. You see people begin to hurl food at you as you're passed by into the protection of Flaming Fist. Fucking nobles! You see, and you're eventually led into one of the side doors leading in towards Basilisk Gate.
I'm just going
good for
to
you.
brush off my,
Yes.
my tomatoes. Sorry about that, guys.
Very
You
fine.
did well. It's all right.
Thank
You see a couple of the Flaming Fist guards, sort of like full helmets, sort of like over the top now. Seems like they're in full, almost riot gear. But this particular section of the gate sort of like leads you through and says, well, the election should be happening within the hour in the wide. Would you like me to escort you straight there, Master Never Ember, or would you like to make your own way? You see Renar sort of like looks over at all of you.
We'll be making our own way, but thank you. But just make sure to note that Renar Never Ember is here and that there are watchful eyes on the safety of our party at all times, and I'll just make sure to point out everyone
Of
individually.
course, I will say the lower cities in a bit of a state at the moment. Are you sure you don't want me to escort you to the wide? It will be much safer for you.
Well, if I'm completely honest, we have had a run-in already with some of your guards closer down to Worms Crossing. Unfortunately, they weren't very nice. They were very, very poorly receptive of the fact that we had such a high-ranking noble here, and they also took a severe amount of gold from us, so I will be recharging that back if you could hand over 30 gold pieces, please.
Yeah, I'm afraid that the Flaming Fist is not liable for anything that happens outside of the city of Baldur's Gate.
Well, I tried. No problem. We'll be on our way, but just make sure that, again, things are notified. So I want to make sure that our package is very well protected.
You see that as you guys are sort of like ushered through this sort of like guard barrack sort of like style section of the wall of Baldur's Gate, you watch as Renar sort of begins to move past. A member of the Flaming Fist grabs him by the arm and says, Lord Never Ember, I must insist that you are to head straight towards the upper city. I'm afraid that your father would not be right pleased if we let you go willy-nilly wandering about the lower city on a day like today. It's not safe for you, I'm sure you understand.
Please
Not very kind to grab a noble, is
unhand
it?
him, or otherwise I will be taking that arm.
It's okay, Rail. Is it that dangerous? It is very dangerous, I'm afraid, Lord Never Ember. It would be much advisable for you to make your way to a safer district. Particularly the Eastway and Brampton is rather rambunctious at the moment in the wake of Duke Lezaro's election.
And seeing this,
Perhaps an escort to the upper city might be rather wise.
and in seeing this, Rail will immediately kneel and goes, "By your word, Lord Never Ember."
Yes, indubitably.
And I just stare back to Vilka, and just the look in Rail's eyes is like, this is hurting his soul.
You're committed.
Follow
I'll
along,
do
Lord.
that.
Lord November, follow me. We'll escort you towards Heapside and we can let you in through the Heap Gate.
What about us?
We
of them?
will be accompanying you.
Yes, they're my
Your personal
Royal Guard.
formers.
What?
That's right.
Yes,
That.
Yes.
they're my entertainment for the long journeys that have been going on.
What kind of entertainment?
Don't ask him
Lord
that.
Never Ember, are you being held against your will? No, not at all. I'm not being held against my will.
Excuse me, look, I
That is
was a guard
rude.
from Neverwinter. I really do take offence to this. I was asked for specifically for this task.
Perhaps if we make our way to the upper city now, before things start to get out of hand.
I agree, Lord Neverember. Let's head up to the major city.
Indeed.
Please.
And you see the Flaming Fist begin to sort of like lead you through. You sort of see several guards at this time are rushing to and fro down the wall, sort of like speaking in hushed tones over one another. Anyone who wants to can make a perception check for me.
Let's do it.
I'm rolling quite unwell now.
8.
11. 7 plus 4.
You begin to hear like various reports from sort of like things that are going on amongst the city. In particular, you hear one guard sort of like over goes, "A riot's broken out in the steeps. We need to get over there quickly. Mobilize the guard, quickly. Let's go." You see a few of them begin to rush out of one of the sort of like doors leading out into the city at large. I do apologize, Lord Never Ember. Election day has a habit of making people act out of sorts. It'll be cleared by tomorrow, I assure you. That's very nice of you to say. I appreciate your welcome to the city, and my retinue also appreciate your time. You can see like visible sweat pouring from his face.
Can I insight check him to see if he's attempting to try to convey a message to us?
Roll an insight check.
Absolutely going to do the same on this one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good. That is an
I rolled
18 on the dice. That is, for my insights +3, so 21.
Renard's just a terrible liar and is making a real pig's arse of this entire charade.
At which point I'm going to go ahead and I'll close my eyes just temporarily, and I'll attempt to cast message again straight towards Renard. Are you sure you know what you're doing? You can reply to this message.
You see, he speaks out loud. Of course I know what I'm doing, obviously.
I can't even punch him in this regard, so I'm just going to just look at him.
November, are you sure you're feeling all right? But the long journey, you know, the road, it's been quite... it's been very tiring.
It's been very taxing on Lord Neverember.
He's only had one pillow to sleep with at night, unlike his usual 30, so he's a little bit, you know...
Yes, and my bodyguard has fleas, and they've been biting my legs, something chronic, so it's been very uncomfortable.
I'll just scratch my head as he says that.
Lord November, I would like to make one thing perfectly clear. The Flaming Fist also here to assist you if you are in any distress. Not in any distress, no, not at all. The only distress I've got is that my dogs are barking from the long road.
Look, I'm terribly sorry. Lord November is extremely hungover from last night's drinking. He's very, very fickle of head right now.
Of course, yes, I'm so...
And I'll immediately just
hanging.
like reach under and grab one of his bottles and like hand it to him.
Yes, thank you, bodyguard, for this fine beveragino. I appreciate it.
The finest.
Indubitably. Yes.
He's actually a bottle guard, not a bodyguard.
Yes, of course.
My
And you
God.
watch as the Flaming Fist sort of like suspiciously lead you through the wall. Eventually, you guys find yourselves in a large circular chamber, sort of like with sort of arrow slits looking out into the city at wide. And you go, and you see that the sort of like captain turns to Renard and says, okay, Lord Neverember, if you just exit through this door, you'll find yourself towards the bottom end of the heap gate. Keep going to the west, and you'll find yourself to the wide. Duke Castellanto's speech is due to begin any moment now, so make haste. Indubitably, we will make the haste right now. And you see the door is sort of like open, and Renard, thank you, quickly sort of like scurries outward into the upper city.
Right. Tell me when we're out of earshot as well.
Circus performers, we've got a gig to get to.
Yes, my lord. And we'll just carry on until we're out of earshot of the Flaming Fifth Captain.
Incredible. And as you sort of like head out the door into the upper city of Baldur's Gate, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break there. As you guys venture out of the doors of the guard tower, you find yourselves in a neighborhood quite distinct from the peasantry of the outer city. Indeed, the upper city is a bustling, grand metropolis. You guys can see neatly arranged houses, sort of like spreading out into neat cobblestone streets. Each house sort of bearing what appears to be the marks of a recently fought battle. You can see a few of them have scaffolding sort of like erected around them. Parts of the roofs have been repaired and they're shiny as sort of like stones and pieces of slate that have been added onto roofs while they've been like in a matter of construction. Interestingly enough, currently none of the scaffoldings and none of the people seem to be in these sort of like streets. And as you sort of wind through the streets of the upper city, you eventually find yourselves in the largest and most bustling square of Baldur's Gate, the Wide, stretching out like a grand stage over the city of Baldur's Gate. Cobblestones worn smooth by centuries of foot traffic, glinting lightly in the sort of like late afternoon as the sun begins to set behind the white and cerulean towers of High Hall towards the northwest. you guys can see a throng of nobles dressed in silks and velvets. You can see merchants in fine tunics and embroidered clothes, city dignitaries sort of like scattered along the square, polished boots clicking against cobbles and the rustle of heavy gowns and jingling of gold and gemstones, creating this symphony of opulence, as it were. You can see some nobles have servants sort of like waiting on them hands and feet as they stand sort of like on what appears to be small sort of like stone daises, like looking with a pair of binoculars out at the center where a raised platform has been erected. You can see draped with banners and heraldry bearing the same crest you saw earlier, the silvered goblet with the morning sun bezeled on it, the symbol of Siamor, the goddess of nobility. You can see what appears to be a collection of figures, some dressed in the silvery robes that you saw earlier, some dressed in noble finery, sort of like standing, chatting amongst themselves. And as you guys sort of like take your place in the crowd, you hear a hush begin to fall. You see a man sort of like raises a hand and silence falls amongst the crowd. You can see he's a dwarven figure, sort of like dark skin, fully shaved head, and a big sort of like black beard, neatly sort of maintained and pulled into a tight braid. You can see he wears the silvery robes. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may have your attention for but a moment. It has been an arduous few months, but we are all gathered here today to celebrate a great victory for the citizenry of Baldur's Gate. I am proud to say that the Scale Society will continue to endorse Duke Castellanta and his efforts to reconstitute the upper city of Baldur's Gate. And you hear an eruption of cheers sort of like from around the crowd amongst you, nobles sort of like clapping loudly. You see he sort of smiles and raises a hand. Please. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. It is my grandest honor to present to you the new Duke of Baldur's Gate, Duke Lazzaro Castellanta. And again, the cheers erupt. You will see, walking onto the stage, a man dressed in fine cerulean blue robes. You can see neatly parted black hair, sort of like swashed over to one side, a neatly maintained goatee, sharp, intense features, and these sort of like bright, glowing green eyes. Looks like he's maybe in his sort of like mid to late 40s, sort of like takes a step to the center of the dais, and you hear his voice booming out over the city. You see a smile sort of like wraps over his face as he looks down at all those whom he now lords over. Ladies and gentlemen of Baldur's Gate, honored citizens and heirs to greatness, I humbly stand before you prostrate. The fact that you have deemed me worthy to lead this great city on the next chapter of our storied history is an honor which I cannot begin to put into words. But before we kick in, I would like to say a quick set of thank yous to those who have supported me so arduously. First, Duke Felmara Vanthampur. You see an elderly woman sort of like stands up and bows. And of course, Duke Dillard Portier. You see an elderly man sort of like dressed in like noble doublet, sort of like closing in a like large overweight frame, sort of like nods as he sort of like drinks deep from a goblet. And of course, our friends from the Scale Society, the think tank whose idea it was to revolutionize Baldur's Gate in such a way. Now, let's get down to business. 6 months passed, this city trembled under fire and shadow. False gods rose, Mobs rioted, and our sacred inheritance was brought to the brink of ruin. The upper city still bears the scars. And you see he offers out a hand, and you see like certain sections of the upper city which have been like hastily repaired, large like scaffoldings erected, and stonemasons still sort of like working to fix sections of high halls, sections of some of the noble villas. Yet we stand unbroken, for nobility cannot perish. Blood endures, and that which is destined cannot be undone. And now the hard work begins. Stone by stone, tower by tower, the upper city shall be rebuilt. Stronger, higher, and prouder than ever before. So in wisdom and duty, I decree, as my first act, as one of the 4 Dukes of Baldur's Gate, that the Flaming Fist shall be recalled from the chaos of the outer city and placed where their strength is truly needed, to safeguard and fund the rebirth of our hallowed homeland. You again hear the tears erupt from the crowd. You see, he smiles. Please, 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 please. Hold your applause, hold your applause. Now you see, with the passing of the late Duke Stelmane and the illness of Duke Ravengard, the city has been without a strong, noble hand for some time. Let it be stated that this is not abandonment, but strategy. For the outer city left to itself will reveal its true nature. Disorder devours disorder. Let those who would cause harm to the ancient citizenry of the upper city destroy themselves, not on the dime of the good people of Baldur's Gate. Let it be stated that 100 years ago, when the Dead Three came to call, they did not come to call in the noble villas of the upper city. No! They came to call amongst the peasantry. When the Absolute came, their name was not issued from the lips of the hard-working folk of the upper city. No, they grew, and the rot grew from the lower. Let them have their way. Let those invaders at our doorstep kill themselves and push themselves away. But no more will they live off of the dime of our hard work. This is not abandonment, it is strategy. Those who clamored for freedom shall find themselves consumed by it. And when the tumult is spent, when the rabble lies scattered, the true heirs will restore order once more. This is the noble way, this is the natural way. The worthy rise and the unworthy fall. It is the law written in every bloodline. From the humblest house to the most ancient, even beyond our kind. And so, Baldur's Gate will once more ascend. The Seamorph crowns the noble to rule. We shall claim the destiny that is ours. Not granted by mob mentality, not granted by riots, but inherited by right. A city of crowns, not a city of chains, of bloodlines unbroken, of destiny fulfilled. May Seamorph's light guide us, and our inheritance shine as bright as the dawn over the Chionthar. And again, you hear this rabble begin to emerge, people nodding and clapping as loud as they possibly can. Yes, yes, we'll take the gate, we'll take the gate. You see that Duke Caslanter raises a hand. There are those who will oppose us in the coming weeks and months. It is true that Duke Ravengard has fought hard against my motives and against my election. But ask yourselves this, for all the good the Flaming Fist and Duke Ravengard have done, when illness came for him and the end of life quickly rushes upon him, there's little he can do to save this city when he cannot save himself. It is in his name that I sign this decree. And by the end of this 10 day, the Flaming Fist shall be diverted. They'll be sent north to aid our friends in the Scale Society. And in that, the Scale Society have agreed to fund the rest of the upper city. And again, you hear this crowd erupt into tears. This is Baldur's plan. This is our birthright, and we now take our place. Thank you all. You'll be seeing a lot of me very soon, I can assure you of that. And you watch as he bows deeply, and again the cheers erupt in place. As this happens, you begin to hear the nobles sort of like begin to scatter and talk amongst themselves. You see Renar sort of like looks around. Well, that's boring. Can we get to drink now?
I don't like that guy.
He seemed a little bit like a dictator to me, but
He's a finance bro. That's worse.
Ugh.
He is a banker, right? You could tell. Slimy, rich.
The Cassanters are an old family from Waterdeep. They've long sort of had their hooks in over there. It was only a matter of time before they made themselves south. At the end of the day, you know, yeah. It's a city in crisis, and it clamors for leadership. And I say, if this Duke Castellanter thinks that he can make a difference, then, yeah, I don't know.
What about all the poor people? He doesn't care about the poor people.
Well, it's not like he's going to execute them on sight. He's just pulling the Flaming Fist out of the outer city.
It just sounds like
Yeah,
chaos
you
for the
need
outer city,
guidance.
though.
This will only lead
Agreed.
to chaos.
So many people are gonna
A
get
lot
hurt.
of.
I wonder.
Mhm.
Well, we can
They
always just
mentioned-
say...
Leave room for.
they
even-
mentioned the Scale Society. Does anyone know what that actually is? I'm not familiar with Baldur's Gate. It's a little
You see a
overwhelming.
noble sort of like turns to you, a big sort of like pudgy, overweight man. You can see a heavy set of chins underneath his sort of like mouth. You can see like he sort of like wipes the cloth over his face. He's dressed in this sort of like bright sort of like green set of like noble robes. He turns and goes, "Oh, young man, you're asking about the Scale Society."
Yes, if you wouldn't mind telling me, I'm new to the city.
Well, they're a wonderful think tank that's sort of come about in the wake of the absolute crisis. You see, they've been in fervent support of Duke Castellanter and have been working on his election campaign. In fact, from what I hear, they funded a fair bit of it.
Right, and scaled. Is that like the
Yeah,
balancing
scale societies and balancing scales, you see?
Right, okay. I was just
They
making
maintain
sure.
the balance. They get a group of political think tankers, apparently sharp minds from across the realms who've dealt with a lot of the insurgency which has happened in the wake of that despicable Lord Never Ember and the issues he raised in Waterdeep. And you see that Renar sort of looks down at the ground.
Why is he despicable?
Yeah, did you not hear about him embezzling funds from Waterdeep to fund the restoration of Neverwinter? If you ask me, that man will always be a king without a crown. And no matter what he thinks, he can't just charge into the city of Neverwinter and stake his claim. It's ridiculous behavior. A tyrant, a dictator, as it were.
What was your
I
name
say
again,
this.
sir?
My name?
Yes.
My name is Richard Revington.
A pleasure.
That R had so many syllables.
And I'll put
Yes,
a hand
quite.
on Renard's shoulder and I'll just kind of like squeeze it just to say like, you know, hold it in.
Well, thank you for the information. I am.
It's quite a... Now tell me, you're a young man. You see, he looks towards you, Nebulon, and says, "What are your favourite of Duke Castellanter's new policies?"
Oh, did I read the pamphlet?
Yes, you did read the pamphlet.
Okay, I will probably. have to be honest. I like them all.
Oh, me too. I tell you, we've needed some young blood in the city. Dylan Portier, once upon a time, perhaps he did a lot of good work for the people of Baldur's Gate, but he's been absolutely useless. And Lady Vantham, her coming back out of nowhere was quite the shock, you know?
Well, not as if I pretend to know what he's saying. Right, exactly. I'll gesture.
Yeah, but if you ask me, I wouldn't be opposed to Duke Castellanta doing the same thing Lord Gortash did a few months prior. Let's sack off the Council of Four and Parliament of Peers and take on Duke status. It's not like Duke Ravengard's doing anything about it anytime soon.
Right,
Well, he's sick, right?
Oh, yeah, well, he claims to be sick, but he's always gallivanting about somewhere, pulling a city that's not related to Baldur's Gate from hell or something like that. Oh, you know, I heard that his son is infernal spawn.
Well,
Right. Well,
Isn't it amazing how word carries?
Indeed. It is, especially amongst the peasantry. It's rather shocking, to be honest. I, for one, can't wait for them to ride themselves into early graves. Let me tell you, property is going to be very cheap in the outer city soon. Oh, yes. I plan to buy up some large swaths of land there.
what do you plan to do with it?
Well, bulldoze all the shanty houses and probably build myself a nice new manor house overlooking Dustcork Hill.
What about the people who live there?
Now, that's the whole point of this campaign, isn't it? Fuck the people who live there. They're all rats. They're the ones that caused all this destruction, of course.
So you know he wants to get rid of them, and you're happy about it?
Yes, of course. In fact, I have poured quite a large sum of money into donations for his campaign.
if you happen to be a poor person, what would
How
you do?
dare you insult me, sir?
All right,
And
okay.
you'll see
I
a
see
rail
where
just
that's
speaks up and
going.
goes, of course, sir. Well, let us be on our ways. We need to make merrymaking after this
Roll a faith
wonderful
check, Rail.
example. Let's see how that goes. That's a +4. That's a 12.
A 12, cool. You see, he sort of like looks over towards you and goes, "Oh, well, if you're looking to make merry, why don't you pop over to the Three Old Kegs? It's a tavern just north of the Wide. There's a little party going on there amongst the political allies of the new Duke Castellanta. We'll be celebrating his election, discussing our favorite policies. They say that some of the key figures in his election might be there, including members of the Scale Society. I, for one, can't wait to pick their brains about future policies."
Well, if someone of your wisdom has guided us there, how am I to say no?
Yeah, right. Well, I will see you there, young chaps.
And do take care yourself. And
Oh, of course.
Rail will just...
Good day to you.
Good day. And I'll grab Renar and just like lead him towards something. I'm looking for somewhere that's kind of, you know, away from that big crowd, just somewhere where we can collect ourselves again.
Cool. You guys sort of see buried in some of the like upper northernmost alleyways from the Wide, there's like quiet sections where like large portions of this particular part of the city were destroyed during the riots earlier in the year with the absolute crisis. It seems like they're all sort of like in the middle of being repaired, and there's like scaffolding up, but no one actively living there or heading in that direction. So I'll say that you guys kind of pull yourselves into a quiet alleyway away from the main rabble.
Cool. Is there anything like a crate or, you know, just things, anything laying around?
Oh, there's a lot of like supply. There's barrels, there's crates, there's sort of like stonemasonry tools sort of like scattered about.
Brilliant. I'm going to get my dirk and I'm just going to start absolutely just launching into this barrel. Rail is so pissed off from having to put that front on.
Oh, jeez.
What did the barrel do?
Okay, let's just take a breath.
Honestly, these pompous pricks here in the upper city.
Yeah. They suck.
I've never met anyone that can lie so well than everyone in this city. It's crazy.
What are they lying about?
They're lying probably to themselves, and
Definitely.
I think they're pretty honest.
Yes,
be
but it's
awful.
like
Well done
The-
for
I don't
everyone holding their cool there. I don't want to get arrested, but I was on the verge of speaking out. But we need to not make as much of a scene as we can while we're here. We've already done so with announcing that, Renar Never Ember is here.
If I'm honest, Rail, I heard bits and pieces. I was somewhat tuning it out, somewhat not. Just picturing myself in a library.
Well, it just goes to show.
Dissociating. Smart.
It goes to show that
Let's
even
think of-
Baldur's Gate isn't, shy of being overthrown by wonderful people.
I've dealt with many of these nobles from city to city all across Faerun. All of them are caged in this social construct that they've created for themselves. And they're proud of what they're spouting here at this election. Although
prison
perhaps,
of their own making. Wow.
if it's one thing is they do all care about themselves, so perhaps with the information regarding the cult of the dragon, maybe we could effect some change. Should we speak to this new duke?
And do
It
we
might
have
be
the right
worth
to
it.
talk to the Duke?
Quill,
Well, if
you say you know nobles.
yes,
Doesn't that seem strange to you that he would pull all the troops from the lower city, leaving it
my as
to everyone else to take?
from my understanding here, I believe someone somewhere is going to make some money from this decision, and that's it. There is no conscience, there is no empathy. It's just greed, Velka.
Especially with these scale people involved.
I know how greed works, Quill. My point is, money flows from the lower city into the upper city. So why would you leave the lower city to chaos? It is profit, yes, but for whom? Is what I'm trying to assess.
Honestly, this just sounds like an extermination waiting to happen.
You think they're just hoping that everyone will turn on each other and it'll just turn into a giant bloodbath?
Yep.
Better get sick and die.
Either way,
think Vilka's
nobles win.
onto
Well,
something.
I actually think I can offer a little bit of insight into these things. Father had a similar policy with New Neverwinter when he began rebuilding. There was a active effort to wipe criminals from the street. A lot of the major targets were sort of tricked in a sort of honey trap situation. A lot of the thieves guilds were rooted out by placing large value targets on the street and, sort of attracting them. But a lot of the...
I'm surprised you pay this much attention to what happened.
I have lessons about court, Serena, believe it or not. There's one
just
thing
pay
I've
attention
learned,
to the
it's politics, right? But there's always been a prevailing theory, especially amongst Neverwinter, that left to their own devices, the peasantry, particularly those that we encountered in the outer city, would unravel without a form of law and order. I think, and you can see that he's actively trying to sort of conceal something.
What are you not saying?
I wouldn't be surprised if the hope that the outer city will destroy itself isn't helped along by the nobility in some way.
God.
It's very easy to pay people to go out and make chaos and commit crimes to scare people away.
The rich get richer, and the poor get poorer.
And a lot of land around a major city is vacated and will be sold very cheaply to
Or nobility.
nobles,
Yeah.
which will then fund more of the Duke's plans?
What is his plan?
I don't know. Kill poor people by the sounds of it.
Either way, it's not
Or
good.
let them kill themselves.
No, it's not. It's horrible.
But
Ilka
that can't
actually
be
might.
the end. Like, that can't be the goal, right? Like, there has to be something more to it than just kill the poor people.
That's what I think I was trying to say. I think Vilka's onto something with that theory. I mean, if this is a seemingly pointless decision, perhaps it is something to do with the cult of the dragon. Perhaps they have infiltrated, and he might be a representative. Perhaps they are weakening the city to the point where it collapses in on itself, allowing the cult to take over. No,
We pray
Getting
for
rid of the
hope.
flaming fist.
could well be. I mean, I don't know. It's possibly. Either way, I think we should think of a plan. We're here now. I don't know. Should we find a place to rest for the
Well,
night, or at least
Right now,
get a-
we know where the nobles are heading. It looks like some higher-ups are going there as well. We do
Right.
need to keep Renar out of eyesight, but I think going there at least to find some lodging and gather some information, it could open things up as to what is actually going on inside this city.
Well, if you want an idea, there's a few places that would probably be, depending on where you want to go, safe to stay. I mean, obviously, if you did want to speak to nobles and possibly the Duke, then the Three Old Kegs would be a good option. That's where apparently the political party is having their celebration. There's the Elf Song in Eastway. That's a rather reputable tavern. If you're looking for somewhere a little bit more... Rail, what's a nice way to say rough?
Comfortable.
Comfortable. There's the Blushing Mermaid in Heapside. It depends what you guys are looking for.
I think finding out as much information in the Three Kegs would be a straighter shot, especially with
Can Renar go
Quill's.
there?
Well, I'd like
Or
to
should
keep
he be
Renar
hidden?
out of the way, but I do think that Quill maybe would be able to gather some information for us quite well.
It most certainly
That is
can,
true.
and also, Brunner, we could perhaps fashion you some sort of disguise if you'd like to infiltrate the party. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, that would be good. Can I still be a noble?
Yes, but you have to come up with a believable sounding noble name.
Well, we
What
can do this-
about Clancy Crickenham?
What's some of the names of your associates down in Waterdeep, perhaps?
Did you find a word that rhymes with fancy?
Yes.
Is that
Good first attempt. I'll give you that.
it's a fancy sounding name, I guess.
I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of. The issue is the nobility is quite incestuous in terms of everybody in
Oh, yeah.
Waterdeep knows people in Baldur's Gate.
Wait,
people
why
in...
were you so sweaty before?
I'm.
Was your wife there? Your ex-wife?
No, I'm just not very good at lying. She was not my wife. She was my fiance.
What were you lying about?
That you were on my circus before. This is really stressing me out. I feel like I'm.
Oh, but
If
we're
we stress
concerned.
him out, it.
Renar.
I won't
Look,
Right
I didn't
now.
have a good
Just back
time
off.
last time I was in
What's
the
happening?
city.
All you need to know now is that we are your official guard, as scrappy as
You're safe with us,
you
but
are.
we can help you better if you tell us what's going on.
Renar, withholding stuff isn't the smartest idea right now. For all of our benefit.
Anyone who wants to can make a persuasion check for me.
Go on then.
Do it, guys.
19.
19.
Nice.
I'll join in this fray. have a look. Okay, 7 plus persuasion, yeah? 7 plus 6, 13.
Oh, you have good persuasion.
Look,
Can be persuasive if needs be. At times.
I'm going to be honest.
Yes. Good start.
I spoke about Melissa.
Uh-huh.
Well, let's just say your father was not happy with me when I left her at the altar. When I say not happy, I mean very angry.
Did you literally leave her at the altar? Was she standing there in the gown and everything?
That's
Bro,
Yes.
come on. Sorry, I don't usually use those words, but like, that's not good.
I know. I just.
Come on, man. This is emotional
just-
constipation. You need to let it all out.
if you hold it in, well, you
Pain
might.
gets worse.
I'm broke,
And then
okay? I'm broke. Father cut me off when I walked away.
Somehow not surprising, even though I didn't see it coming.
In fact, he threatened that if I ever showed my face in front of him again, he would disown me.
Do you think he's here
No.
in town?
I don't know. What I'm scared about is if Melissa sees me, she's going to tell Father where I am, and then a whole deal can happen.
Renard, how did you find yourself in the camp, by the way?
That is a good
Well,
question.
How were you? Why
Yeah.
were you down here in the first place?
Well,
Because he was trying to
okay.
hang with us, right?
Let's be. Okay, transparency.
Were you running? What?
I went up to Waterdeep on a merchant caravan. When I got to Waterdeep, I found out that my father had paid mercenaries to return me to Neverwinter to face his wrath. So I used the rest of my money and I paid an organization to make me disappear from the city.
What
That
organization?
Pretty well, huh?
Oh, the Black Network. Very nice.
Any ideas, Quill?
The Zentarin.
Like,
Ah,
How stupid can you be, Renard?
that was not
What
a good
did they do
idea
with
at all.
you?
They found out about a week into our journey that I perhaps did not have money that I initially assumed I did. So they sold me.
Did we do
They
that
sold
too,
you.
guys?
They sold me.
Wait, this means you can't pay me back.
This also means that you were nervous because you don't want to be caught out.
And
Makes
now
sense.
you've been announced to be in the city.
and
You know, maybe telling us that before I announce you to the world would probably, that would have been a really good conversation to have.
Oh shit! They know I'm here now, don't they?
Yes.
they do.
Did you only just become aware of that this moment?
I'm
when you
really
were
stressing. I'm really stressing out.
God.
I think the real problem now is we're all a target because
Because
surely
we are
mercenaries will
harbouring
follow.
Never.
Yeah.
Right, we need to get out of this city as fast as possible.
Can we
Oh,
disguise him?
flaming eyes.
Does someone know how to disguise him?
Yeah, Quill does.
We absolutely can disguise Rainier.
Right, let's do that now.
Or-
We'll still try and find out as much information of the city as we can do from the 3 kegs. Then,
I'm sorry, guys.
well, we can't do anything about it now, so
it
we
is
just have to
what it
move
is.
forward.
Are you going to kick me out of the group now?
Well, you're
You're
not
part of
really
the group?
part of it. to be
Oh,
honest.
that's nice.
No, we will just keep you, and then when you become more useful, then maybe we'll sell you off.
Does anyone have parchment?
I have some spare. I'll
Yes.
just pull out
I
one.
have some.
Yeah, I'll just,
And she will just like grab
Will you
it
burn it?
and squish it, and then there's like
Oh.
flames. And
Stressful.
No, Renar, we're not kicking you out, but from now on, no half-truths, no false truths, just honesty. Otherwise, we can't help you anymore.
Okay.
well, and this could just be the anger talking. But if he lies one more time, do I have your permission to burn him a little bit?
Just don't kill him.
Look, Renar,
I won't. And
You did a
she
good
just
thing
like
by
looks
telling
over
us.
at him
the truth.
and just smiles. Just
Right. Well, that's changed. Well, I say it's changed plans. Either way, we need to get on a carriage. We could probably still use Renar for this, but we need to find out as much information about what's happening in the city and then look for our out, because if we're sniffing around for
We
too
still
long, the
use
Flaming
guards,
Fist are going to be
right?
right up our backsides.
Yeesh.
I agree.
and yes, and on a way to get out. Quill, I know you said that it could be a scam, and it very well might be, but I do have that one connection. I just need to find him, as much as I don't want to.
Oh,
Do you
is
know
this...
where to find him?
I'd have to look for him. I know what he looks
Yes,
like.
and
Very
I
twisty
I could
mustache. And
I can speak to Winston. Winston's an old friend of mine. We went to school together. If I speak to him, he will help us sort out a caravan or get us some work on various caravans. Needs to be low key, but he's a good guy. He actually
Winston, and where
he
is
actually likes he likes roughing it with peasants. You know, he goes to drink at the elf song and stuff from time to time when he's
Oh, slumming it, so to say.
yes, slumming it.
That could be a good place to start, I think.
I agree. As for importance of what we need, should we prioritize getting out of the city, or do you at least want some information regarding what's going on in the background?
So from what you guys remember, you probably have the cult of the dragon, or the main force carrying the sort of like loot from the raids down south, will most likely be arriving in the city 2 days from now. So you probably have today, tomorrow, and they'll be arriving sometime the following day.
Alright, so we have to
Alright,
stay
well-
low for a few days.
At least till the election day ends.
Yeah.
That's what
48
alleviate.
hours.
So no causing
And you
fights.
guys do see, as the sun sort of like begins to set behind High Hall, these sort of like drift globes begin to sort of like rise up into the air of the upper city, casting like almost like a dull glow.
We
Uh,
do have access to a safe house within the city if we need somewhere to lay low. The problem is
Yeah.
it's back in the lower city, so we'd be giving up the advantage of being here in the upper city.
Yes.
might not be safe either to go past the guards again, or
There's no guarantee we're going to be able to get back in without Rainier, and we should keep his identity secret.
I mean, it's out there for now, so how about we get him dressed up?
well,
Quill, do you want to work your magic?
Yes. And rather than magic, Quill pulls out from a backpack, literally a disguise kit,
good old magic.
complete with some makeup. Maybe not a wig, but we'll try and style his hair a little bit
Amazing.
differently. And it's more traveling clothes. So I'm going to kind of see what we can do with Rainier. I'll say,
Incredible.
okay, Rainier, your new name while we're in Baldur's Gate is Guy
And pretend
Incognito.
that he's Rael's brother, because they kind of like they have similar hair, right?
That could probably
Okay.
work.
Similar.
Guy,
Right
Go
now,
as a Dawnspring.
Oh.
Go as a Dawnspring.
Baron Guy, I can't use a
Yes.
bastard name. They'll laugh me out of the tavern.
You have to be
I have-
laughed out
I
of the
have one
tavern. You're
idea.
nobody
Uh,
right now.
Renar, if you don't mind me asking, as angry as I am with you right now, what languages do you speak?
What languages do
Fluently.
I speak?
Yes,
Uh,
fluently.
Common.
Okay.
Fair.
Elvish.
Okay.
Are you an elf?
Can you actually
No.
speak Elvish?
Yes.
Wait, say something.
Very well educated.
I speak Elvish to him. Said, "Can you really speak Elvish?"
You see, in kind of like a pigeon elvish response, he sort of says, "I can, yes, obviously."
You're a little bit.
Does he just speak common but with an elvish accent?
I didn't pay that much attention in class. Languages aren't my favorite.
Oh, sweet.
What about Ren Dawnspring?
I can't be a Dawnspring. They're the
Yes, you
scum of the
can.
nobility.
I am
That's
a
exactly
Dawnspring.
why they won't be looking for you, because
Exactly.
they think
You-
that you wouldn't stoop to the.
I much
level.
prefer Guy Incognito. I think that's
No.
that's a name that will raise less eyebrows.
Um,
Listen, none of you are nobles. You don't know this.
You
A name
could
like
be
that
arts-
will raise less eyebrows than a Dawnspring just willy-nilly walking about.
Well, you don't need to say
in the
your
upper
name,
city.
really, so.
I
Fair enough. If that works, then sure. I think he might be the one to trust in this. He's the only
Maybe not.
noble
What's your last name?
Centauri?
Maybe I can be Guy Centauri. We can be
You're going-
lovers,
I-
noble husbands of the
What's his
kingdom
name?
of the kingdom
Mine
of
is-
where are you from?
Flood blessed, if that helps.
Baron Nebulon and Guy Centauri of Floodblessed. That'll work.
I mean,
As long as you can
I'm-
stick with it.
I did say I was going to sacrifice a few things for this. I suppose this could be one of them. Sure.
And
Why
Quill,
not?
you look clean enough that you could be our advisor, or perhaps, a cousin or sort of a political advocate, maybe.
Just one big family?
Or maybe,
Well-
yes, maybe.
if
We're there?
no.
Yes.
Okay.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Following on from that, Quill will click his fingers and
You give him tusks, because he
give-
was marking my tusks.
Oh,
So,
do it.
I can't affect him, unfortunately, buddy. But for myself, I'm going to look like Nebulon, albeit slightly differently, to kind of differentiate. Maybe a slightly different shade, maybe a more lilac-y kind of shade,
Nebulon.
and lighter hair.
Well, hello, handsome. Look at you.
Hello,
This-
Quillian.
wow.
Market improvement.
you just called him your cousin.
But it's not
Calm
actually my
down.
cousin.
I know, but like, meh.
Cousin twice.
Bloodblessed is
Go with
different.
that.
Amazing. That's so cool. That's what I look like. Like, I guess that's so cool.
do
And
you not have mirrors in space?
I've never been to space. I don't think.
But you're from space, right?
I have
What
people-
about the others? I mean, Rail can probably pass as a bodyguard, but I don't
Same with
know.
Vilka.
Maybe.
I
do
have.
not-
I have
I
an
do not
idea.
wish to go to
yes.
the tavern.
Right now, did your father or did you know anybody that had court wizards?
Oh, yes, of course. My father had multiple court wizards.
Then I'll do that.
Yes,
Have you
that'll work.
Court priest of Muhammad.
Aren't you a noble, technically, Serena?
What am I? No, we just kill dragons and stuff.
I mean,
The Ashgard name, though.
Wait.
Oh, okay.
Let's carry the weight, I suppose.
And
If anyone asks.
Listen, I know
rather
that you're.
be priest.
Having a name is very important to these people. In fact, it's the most important thing to these people.
There we go. Vilka, you said you didn't want to go?
I do not wish to go to this tavern with all these nobles. As
Would-
much as you left your anger out, Rael, and he turns to the desecrated crate. I'm a little
Yes,
bit more
desecrated.
patient, but my anger is there too. And as much as I can contain myself, I do not wish to go in the mouth of the wolf.
That is a fair point.
Maybe we split into two teams: Team Peasant, Team Noble.
I'll go with.
Or Team Noble 1 and Team
Vilka.
Noble 2.
That doesn't make any sense because you guys are going peasanting.
Right. Vilka, if
Okay.
you don't plan on joining us, is there anything that you want to get done here in Baldur's Gate?
I will find my own way. Where should we meet up?
We'll set a rendezvous for... What was the name of the comfortable tavern, Renar?
The rough one or the comfortable one?
The comfortable one.
He's so confused now.
The comfortable one's the elf song in the lower city. The rough one's the blushing mermaid.
Would the elf song or the blushing mermaid be okay for you, Vilka?
Any which way.
You'll probably fit right in at the blushing mermaid, in all fairness, Vilka. It's full of pirates and knaves and criminals.
I know
No
that place
offense.
very well, thank you, Reina.
It's offensive. Stop it.
Could have guessed.
Okay, the mermaids it is.
But I don't think Vilka should go alone. Like, especially if they
I'll
know
go.
what we look like.
Honestly,
if they try to pick us off to get
Serena,
to Renar.
with the people around here, it might be an idea for you to go with Vilka. If you, Serena, if
Oh.
Renar was questionable when he was talking about you and being regards to an orc, then maybe some questions like that would be raised once we are surrounded by pompous pricks.
Yeah, I can go to the fun place.
Not that I
A
want.
half-drow and an orc walk into a noble, stop it.
And honestly,
What
Kyra,
could go wrong?
it might be an idea for you as well, and that way you can focus on trying to find. Didn't you get a card with some information
did.
on the back?
I did, and she'll like show it. And I don't know if Vilka told you. I meant to tell you all before we left. It was just a whole lot. The person, what was his name? Phineas, something.
Something
Philogor.
contentious, right?
Yes, Phineas Philogor. He said that he was basically something along the lines of my father, a planar scholar, Vic.
He's your father?
No, my
Wait,
father
what?
is
Okay,
known
sorry.
as. My father goes by Vic. And he was, and still is, a planar scholar, and he used to study.
That's how he found
Um,
your mommy. Sorry.
Yes,
Serena.
that's how they met.
What?
Adult voices, Serena.
What are you talking about?
Never mind.
My
In
voice
short,
is always
that's,
adult.
that's how they met. That's how my mother and my father met. He was studying
Oh,
flame planes, and yes,
origin story. Adorable.
yes, she was in a freet. She was and still is in a freet noble.
Oh.
Do not
You're
repeat any
noble?
of this. And
Ooh.
her hair just kind of flames up. Do not repeat any of this. But yes, she was. Is, I should
Yeah.
say.
Wow. So you're a noble too.
Unfortunately, yes. I don't like to talk about it.
Well, we don't
I-
have
I
to
was-
talk about it if you don't want. By the way, your
I-
hair
I was-
reminds me. I actually got you something. Sorry,
Mhm.
bad timing, but I made you a bonnet. It's a battle bonnet.
up. Shut up, you did not.
Cause like,
So terrible.
cause you know when you're in battle and you have the stealth, maybe hair is colorful and beautiful. It's
It
gorgeous.
is.
But it's not very helpful always, so I made you a battle bonnet so you
Oh.
can wear it and be stealthy.
Is it made of fireproof mesh?
It's made of the. It's the same cloth that your coat cape thing is made off. So
Oh, and she will like look like at the.
wait. Do you want to
cloth
try it
from-
on?
I just hope it doesn't burn up.
I mean, let's
And-
try it.
And she'll like put it on. Okay, somebody say something
Look,
to
it
get me
matches
mad.
the outfit. It matches the outfit.
Your mum's a water
Sorry?
genasi.
Maybe we should
No.
possibly do the fire thing outside of the upper city. The flaming fist could be here like second
That's why
shoe.
stealth is very important.
Yes, but maybe we should make haste.
Right.
Well, you're immune to fire anyways, Kyra, right? So if it
Okay.
burns, you just throw it away.
All right.
No
So
biggie.
guys, we are splitting into two. It'll be me, Renar, Quill, and Nebulon. Do you want to go with us, or do you want to go with the other group?
Oh, Nebulon has to. He's my husband.
Oh, Nebulon's
That's
your
right.
husband. In that case,
I guess I am.
Serena,
just like looking.
Kyra,
Sorry,
and
go ahead.
Vilka, please keep these two out of trouble.
Which two?
You two, you and Kyra.
I won't
I
do
thought you were talking
anything.
to me.
No, I'm
Listen,
talking to Vilka.
after
saying keep you
hearing-
out of trouble.
After hearing nobles talk, no offense, Renar, I can see why my mother left me in the care of my father. So,
Oh,
I have a much more deep respect. Not to say I didn't respect my father before I did, but bless that man. Anyway, let's go.
Right.
Go.
She will
Don't forget, you're
do-
looking for. Oh, you found your cloak in.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm wearing it now, and the old one I do
Oh, yeah.
plan to burn.
Or just don't do it.
wait,
here.
why? Maybe you can give it to a child or something.
If
DM,
I
what
give it to
time
a
is it
child, they might
currently?
be They might be
At
targeted.
the moment, it's about
Oh.
7 p.m. It's the sun's just set and night's beginning to sort of like settle.
Okay, so do you want to end? Do you want to aim for 10, maybe 11 p.m.? We'll all meet back in the mermaid.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan, yeah.
We're going to the mermaid, so you guys are coming to meet us. Or
We're coming to meet you there. Yeah, we're gonna go and find out some information in the 3 kegs, and then
3 old kegs.
3 old kegs. Sorry, and then we'll come and meet
Brilliant.
you after.
Now, and you see he sort of hooks your arm maybe like, come on, dear, let's go.
Yes, right, okay.
Good
I'll
luck.
uncomfortably go along.
Just like
Safe,
saying
everyone.
quietly to Nebula, I'm so sorry.
It's alright, it's okay. I'll just try and perk up a smile.
We'll see you guys soon.
All right.
So, we're going to split into 2.
Splitting the party.
Mhm.
Again.
Go ahead and resolve the upper city side first. So, as the 3 of you, in addition to Renar, make your way across the wide, you can still see the scattering of people sort of like making their way out from the sort of center of the upper city. You can see a large portion of them heading towards what looks like this enormous sort of like tower, sort of looming far ahead of the rest of the city. You can see scaffolding on either side of it. You can sort of see it has like the marks of the arcane sort of like art and artistry pasted along it. You see, he goes, oh look, dear, it's Ramazith's tower. I've wanted to see it since I was a wee nipper.
Yes, me too, I think.
Yes, you have.
Yes, I've seen it many times. I look visibly uncomfortable. It's like a big door.
Incredible.
Aw.
And you guys make your way to a tavern at the side of it. You can see this very sort of like well-made 3-storied tavern. You can see it sort of like arches out into like this wide sort of like semi-oval shape. You can see that sort of like lashed to the front of it are sort of 3 heavy kegs. And you can see the sign with the sort of artistry of the 3 kegs tied together, reading the 3 old kegs. And inside, you can hear a raucous sort of like party like happening from around. You can see people sort of like drinking, clinking glasses, like cheering and celebrating.
Looks like quite the establishment.
Oh yes.
Are we ready?
I think we are. Why don't you lead the way, husband?
Okay. And you see he leads you inside a sort of like a low ceiling, dimly lit and thick with the scent of old ale and wood smoke and candle wax. You can see sturdy oak beams dark with sort of centuries of use, and a sprawling tap room placed around a massive stone hearth which throws up orange light around across the crowd inside of it. Normally, you guys get the sense that this would be full of like the more working class members of the upper city, like the masons who own businesses, members of the Flaming Fist, things of that nature. But today, you notice that the clientele is starkly different. You can see that long tables have been cleared of dice games and tankards, and are instead laden with platters of roast meats and silver goblets and fine Omnian imported wines. The air's thick with the hum of conversation. Merchants and aspiring nobles, all in polished garbs, laughing loudly and clinking sort of like cups. You can hear a hired bard trying to be vain and drown out the occasional sort of like strains of the wooden beams underneath the feet of the entire like crowd. And you can see a gallery upstairs overlooking the tap room, which has sort of been converted into what looks like some sort of private lounge. You can see that there are Flaming Fist members sort of like standing guard at the stairs leading upwards, and what look like several nobles dressed in the sort of silvery robes of the Scale Society, discussing with what looks like higher class sort of nobles in the upper balcony.
I don't even know where to begin with something like this.
Well, perhaps a drink?
The drink's a good start, but mainly what we're here for. Nebulon, if you want to try and keep Renard out of as much trouble, your darling husband, of course, then that would be brilliant. Quill, if...
I'll try to keep him out of trouble if I can.
Brilliant. Quill, you're incredibly well-tongued. I think if you could see if we could find out what's going on in the background as much as possible with these nobles, that would be great. As for me, I'm going to try and get in with some of the rowdier lots, you know, guards or mercenaries, anyone, you know, defending or trying to, and just I'll try and get some information out of them as well.
Incredible. So the three of you are splitting off. Cool. All three of you make me perception checks.
That is not bad, actually. 21.
23.
Incredible.
15.
Cool. So the first thing that all of you notice is that the tavern and the balconies have been decorated with that symbol of Seamorph, the goddess of nobility, the sort of silver goblet with the morning sun plastered on the front of it, covering the entirety of the tavern. You see various well-to-do sort of like men, women of all races sort of scattered around. Let's start with you, Rail.
Okay,
So,
go on.
Go ahead and tell me what it is specifically you're looking for.
Rail will be looking... He hasn't had enough talk with nobles to really get what they're on about, so he's looking for someone a bit more hardy, a bit more like the guard, someone who's just come off of a very long shift, and is looking to get merry and, you know, spill some beans.
Incredible. So, as you sort of like look around, it's hard to see sort of thick of people sort of like clinking and enjoying the party and things of that nature. But as you sort of move towards the back end of the chamber, underneath the balcony overlooking, you sort of notice what looks to be a selection of a few figures. You can see that they have very sort of like defeated looks on their face. You can see that they're sort of like solemnly just drinking from goblets and like a large sort of like collection of like U-shaped couches. You can see that there's like some regalia and pins on them, which you would recognize as being possibly the insignia of a political opponent of Duke Castlanta, somebody who maybe was running against him and obviously has lost.
Cool. And so, first things first, can I just kind of check roughly what they're drinking?
Looks like they're drinking wine.
Looks like they're drinking wine. Right, I'm gonna head to the. I'll head to the bar, and I'm gonna get myself like a kind of a pitcher full of wine.
Incredible.
So yeah, I'll walk up. Hello, fella. Have you got a pitcher of wine? You know those fellas, you know, looking pretty down dreary back there. What are they drinking right now?
You see like a stout sort of like halfling man. You can see like a thick sort of like beard over his face and like a large wart just underneath the left eye. And he goes, "Over there? Oh. Well, I think they're drinking Omnian Emerald. You interested in the picture?
How much is that?
10 gold pieces."
Expensive. Jeez.
I'll hand over reluctantly 10 gold pieces.
How do you still have money left?
I have a lot
You've
of
been
money
paying
left.
left
And
and
he hands you,
money is what
he hands you like a large, hands you a large carafe of wine.
Brilliant. And I'll head over to the group and I'll get a cup for myself ready and I'll start pouring this up. You're right, lads. You're looking a bit forlorn. Anyone care for a drink?
You see, in particular, a sort of like stout dwarven man. You can see kind of a pale face, sort of like orangey sort of type hair, flowing down his shoulders. Big sort of like stout nose, middle of his face. Oh, go on then, lad. I won't say no.
And I'll just, instead of pouring them a drink, I'll just pop it on the table, but I'll make sure that they're aware that, you know, I've got my goblet and I'm drinking out of it, so it's obviously not poisoned.
Oh, I've not seen your face around before. What's your name?
My name's Rail. I don't really have a surname, but I'm just here in the upper city just for... Well, I'm seeing what's going on with the Flaming Fist. I'm a guard from down south, and a few of us came up because we were interested in everything that's going on. They led us through just because, well, just we got a letter of recommendation to send us in, so we're doing pretty good. But yeah, just to see what's going on here in Baldur's Gate.
Well, let me tell you, it's not a place to be recently, especially not with Duke Castellanter taking control.
Yeah, what's with that? That's well, I'm not really, like I say, I'm not really from here, so I'm interested to see how
Well,
those people come.
neither's he for one. Let me tell you that much.
And not a Balduran.
Not at all. As a matter of fact, what a Davian.
What a day! Interesting. So,
Aye.
how come, you know, they're running for Duke of Baldur's Gate?
Well, as far as I was concerned, it should have gone to somebody who's already in the Parliament of Peers. At the end of the day, Duke Stelmane made it very explicit in her wishes when she passed that her successor be, you know, one of the folk of Baldur's Gate.
Especially after everything that happened with the Absolute, of course.
You see his eyes sort of like sadly fixed on the ground. It was a real tragedy.
You will have.
Lost my daddy.
I'm sorry. I've lost a lot of people myself recently.
Slaughtered in Lord Gortash's audience hall.
I'm terribly sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
What? Sorry, if it's too much information to speak about, please don't. But what was the situation in regards to that? How come it happened?
Well, put it like this. A group of uppity adventurers decided they wanted to speak out against Lord Gortash. My daddy is in the Parliament of Peers.
Right.
Caught up in the fray.
I'm sorry to hear. I really am.
The Shattershields have got a long lineage in this city, but since my dad's been gone, we haven't really been recognized for our efforts. You know, my family built the walls that surround the city.
Really?
Aye, we were the
They
ones.
are incredible
The Shattershields were the ones that erected the first wall around the outer city, and also the one around the lower city as well. You know.
Honestly, the stonemasons far and wide should be begging for your skills.
Hey, well, you'd think, wouldn't you? But
Absolutely, I'm.
if you ask me, there's some.
myself.
Aye, it's fine stonework, fine craftsmen to make a good wall.
Absolutely. But
Yeah, but if you ask me, it's a damn tragedy.
so
Gotta have been some something that went on in the background, I'm sure.
well, I'm guessing so, but it's. Look, I'll level with you. My name is Rail Dawnspring, and I am an investigator here from Neverwinter, trying to find out exactly what's going on in the background. If you have any information, a few drinks, if you could tell me what you know, this would be very, very helpful.
You see, he looks at a few of his compatriots.
I just want to make sure that.
Roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay. Persuasion. Let's go. 15.
If I'm being honest, I was rallying for Caldwell to win the election. We all kind of tried to make sure that member of the gate was the one who was the new duke.
Right.
But listen, between me and you,
And I'll lean in.
Bizarro just kind of we rolled in a couple of months after the whole deal of the Absolute. Started talking a real big game about reform. Took to the streets of the upper city, spoke to the stonemasons and the merchants and all that. In the beginning, nobody really paid much mind to him, but it was in that Scale Society he got involved that it all started to go tits up.
Tell me, when did they appear and how?
I mean, they started sort of getting their hooks in just after the whole thing with the Absolute. They were popping in, but it weren't until about 3 months ago that they got their hooks into Castellanta and they kind of rallied behind him as their champion. Before, they had an awful woman. Would have never flown in Baldur's Gate.
What was her name?
I struggle to remember her name. I struggle.
If it comes to you, then
Well, I can tell you some defining features. For one, she was a dragonborn, so that was never going to fly, and a black one at that.
interesting. Very, very interesting. We've heard whispers here and there of a black dragonborn, or you say dragonborn? Was she definitely a dragonborn?
I don't know. It looked like a dragon of some kind. Awful woman.
Interesting. And Rail's just looking through his memories with everything that went on and with the cave and blah blah blah. And so, do you know when she was here?
Oh, I can't tell you, to be honest. Like I say, she was around a few months ago, but disappeared just as quickly as she started talking.
So she came in, then there was a massive following of the new Duke, and then she disappeared.
Something like that, yeah.
Interesting. And, is there any other whispers of anything else going on that you've heard of? It can be the smallest of things, maybe just whispers from the trading guild, perhaps.
Not much, just a lot of speculation about how the land in the outer city is going to get divvied up once it tears itself apart.
And how do you feel regarding that?
I mean, listen, I'm a noble in name. I'm not a noble by inheritance. My older brother took over the Shattershield family as patriarch. I mean, I've had a lot of good times in the outer city. I've met a lot of good people out there, you know. It's sad, but I suppose it was a natural and inevitable evolution.
Very much so. And you know, with the rebuilding of the upper city, are your family going to be taking part of much of this, or are they trying?
We're
to
already actively involved. Let me tell you that the Shattershields have not been this busy since the gate was founded.
I don't suppose you've seen any outsourcing of, you know, let's say heavy lifters, maybe somewhere masks or bread or.
Can't say that I've seen anything like that. No. Not in particular. No.
Well, no worries. Enough questions for now. Let's have a few drinks.
Hey, that sounds like a good plan to me. And as you're sort of drinking with Sir Shattershield, let's go ahead and flip over to Quill. Go ahead and tell me what kind of clientele Quill would be looking to infiltrate or listen to.
Yeah, so instead, Quill's going to recognise certainly lots of groups that are partying and celebrating. He wants to try and find the new Duke Castellanter's kind of supporters, you know, the people that were kind of pushing forward for him. So I suppose he would just kind of duck in between different groups until he kind of finds the ones that are really celebrating, having supported their party for winning.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check with advantage on this one.
Beautiful. That'd be 16.
Incredible. So as you're sort of like moving around, trying to listen into conversations, there's a lot of like sort of like heresy and rumors floating about. Nothing of any particular interest outside of noble circles, but one figure in particular catches your eye. You see what looks like a man sort of not quite like making his way onto the balcony, but sort of near where the flaming fists are standing guard on the stairs leading upwards towards the balcony. You can see he's sort of like dressed in what looks like a purple doublet with a pointed hat. You can see like a very well-maintained goatee coming down to about the mid-neck. You can see he's speaking to a woman who is, by all intents and purposes, gorgeous. You can see that she has sort of like caramel-colored skin. You can see that she has gorgeous flowing black hair tied into these sort of like flowing braids coming down to around the waist. You can see she's dressed in a fine red sort of evening gown, sort of like embossed with gold. You can see that around her neck she carries a heavy sort of like heavily worked and expensive looking symbol of Seamorph. And you see that she sort of turns towards the man and says, "Well, Daddy, I think that we can consider that a job well done, can't we?"
That's right, Melissa. And I must say, the work that you have done for Duke Castellanter's campaign, it has made me proud, my dear girl.
Daddy, you humor me far too much with this. Honestly, I think it's inevitable that Duke Castellanter was going to end up winning the election, especially with the amount of money we put into it, of course. Well, of course, my girl. We never quite know what happens with these Ripple and Lower City. Well, speaking of which, Melissa, I think it's time that we had a little chat. You see, your dad is going to be very busy over the coming few months with implementing Duke Castellanter's plans and obviously seeing to the sickly Duke Ravengard. So, how would you feel about taking on a few of the expeditions to Chult? Daddy, you honor me. You really think I'm ready? My dear girl, you've been ready for some time. It just took this for me to truly realize. After everything that went wrong with the renegade, Never Ember boy, I was sure that it was going to throw you for a loop, but you... Oh, well, we all know what happened the last time somebody put their faith into the Never Embers. It's no real surprise, is it? Let's be real. Yes, what a true tragedy it would have been the making of our family. Daddy, don't worry. As far as I'm concerned, it's only a matter of time before he pops back up with his tail between his legs, begging for me back. Now, Daddy, I was a little bit curious. I know that, obviously, you're a very busy man, but I was hoping that perhaps I could get a maybe brief meeting with the new Duke Castellanter.
Melissa, I'm afraid that he's going to be very...
Well, you see, it's about... About what? You see, one of his compatriots asked me to look into some of the matters in So's Foot. If you could pass on a message and just let him know that things are moving as planned, that would be excellent.
I can certainly do that. Tell me, who was it that you were talking to again? Scale, you know the Scale Society? Of course I know the Scale Society, yeah. Varum, just tell him that things are progressing as planned in Sosefoot. Of course, my dear girl. And just so you know, I'm ever so proud of you. You have made the Vamas family proud. Now, I have courting to do upstairs, but make merry. Enjoy yourself.
Thank you, Daddy. You see, she sort of and sort of like turns to move back into the main sort of like bulk of the crowd.
Melissa moves back into the crowd.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I suppose Quill would kind of try and approach Melissa in that case, and being looking similar to Nebulon, is going to cast something like minor illusion and have stars kind of more potted around him, in like a poor imitation of Nebulon, of course. And
Beautiful.
Quill's going to approach Melissa and say, "Congratulations on your victory. It is indeed well earned."
Why, thank you so much. And you see she offers a hand out to you.
Yeah, he'll kiss the hand of Lady Vamas.
Thank you. May I ask, what was your name?
Astralis.
Astralis. Oh, well, what a fine name. And Elven, I see.
Thank you. Yes, I hail from the Astronis Sanctorum and come here for. So I'm not coming to my head in a minute. Sorry, guys, my improv's
Roll deception check.
Do I hear any of this?
Roll a perception check. DC is 15.
Deception is 9.
Cool.
Just missed it, 14, so I wouldn't have heard that.
This Tyranny Sanctorum, I can't say I've heard of it. Well, thank you for your well wishes. I very much appreciate it. I'm sure that your time in Baldur's Gate is going to be very pleasant, especially under the watchful eye of Duke Castellaneta.
Oh yes, pleasant, of course. I got some information that makes me happy, as I'll become very rich very soon.
Did you know? What information is that? You see her eyes laser focus on you.
I don't believe this is quite the right environment to discuss business.
Is that so? Well, where's your retinue? Perhaps we can have a meeting upstairs.
Oh my god, are you gonna bang his ex-wife?
No, of course not.
No, no.
I'm from the Sanctorum as a representative. I have a few colleagues at the party, helping me prepare for our newest venture.
You see that she sort of like looks over your shoulder. Your colleagues and yourself aren't too subtle in your approach, are you? Ahoy hoy! And you see that you hear Melissa beckoning you over Nebulon.
Oh, hello? Hi.
Your compatriot here was just telling me about some information that you've happened upon, which may or may not pertain to riches. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Melissa Vamas, and you feel Renar grab your arm in profound fear. I am the daughter of Randall Vamas, the owner of the trade routes between Port Nyanzaru and Baldur's Gate. I hear you're from the Astroni Sanctorum, is that correct?
I'll sort of look over to you. I am. That's right. Absolutely. Yes. We go way back.
May I ask you and your brother?
Yes, my brother. He's he's younger than me, clearly, and knows not as much as me, but yes, we are both from there, absolutely.
And what?
How can I help with that?
And what is this information that you've happened upon that will make you rich?
Well, you see, recently we've been informed of an artifact of sorts that is well hidden.
What
underneath
kind of artifact are you talking about?
one that can apparently rewrite stars themselves.
Roll a
About-
deception check.
What a nice situation to get into. Come up with a convenient lie right as
That-
I'm introducing you to this new person.
That is it's an 11 on the dice. A deception
Mm-hmm.
plus 4, so 15.
How much? I'll buy the information from you right now.
Oh my god.
Do I look like I need money? In fact, what can you offer me?
Well, I don't know.
I know what you can offer me.
What's that?
Information. For information.
I'm listening.
I'll sort of lean in a little bit closer. You see, this new election, it's a fantastic one, but I'm not convinced that the Duke funded this all himself. In fact, I'm almost convinced that at which point I'm just gonna gesture around. Do you reckon any of the ears will be listening?
Melissa's very good at keeping conversations private when they need to be. You get the impression that a few people have noticed her talking to you, but nobody's actively listening, and you get the sense that that's more out of fear than anything else.
I have a feeling that he's more of a puppet to this scale society than anything else. I'd like to know more about his relationship with them.
I think this conversation is done now.
Very well. I will take my information elsewhere.
She turns and heads into the crowd. Oh, sweet fucking gods!
And breathe. Look. Okay.
She's awful. I told you, she's awful.
It really is.
Quite the charmer.
Yes, she is. Thanks for that, Quill, by the way. Whew. Well, good news is,
She's so
she does-
direct.
if she does know about the Astroni Sanctorum are, I mean, they're not exactly great, so I think that kind of works, actually. Quick thinking. But, phew, a little bit of warning next time.
You think I've wet myself?
It's all right. But that was impressive, I'll give you that.
That was quite quick thinking, in all fairness.
Yes,
Unfortunately, our gamble has failed. We
I
must
agree.
seek a new path.
Not necessarily. She was quite annoyed with that, which means what I said struck a nerve. No?
Agreed. How would you wish to play this?
Well, we definitely know that he is a puppet. I'm almost certain of that. But I think I can probably try to talk to a couple of nobles here and there. Also, I've talked to Renard. Renard, you think back to when you used to have, you know, actual money, and you were actually a noble, should we say. What's the best, easiest way to loosen the tongues of a lot of the nobles around here? Just alcohol?
There are other ways.
I don't know what you mean. I assume that's what you mean.
No, you
alcohol?
wouldn't. How do I put this? Nebulon, you're what we call
Sorry.
an interesting.
Okay.
Diversion from the norm.
Okay.
There are people here who would most likely be very willing to, let's say, spend a good amount of private time with you
Doing what?
And perhaps your brother, and looks over towards Quill.
I mean, I
I see
like
sparkle everywhere.
I like to talk about the stars quite a lot. I mean, it's
Oh, I'm sure that there are people who would very much like to hear that.
really well. Perfect.
Yes.
I can definitely do that. I have a whole journal full of the stuff. I mean, that's great. Why is everyone looking at me funny?
Well, why don't we use that for plan B? Drinks might work.
About this. What was your? I'll look over to Quill. Why don't you do option A, and I'll do the drinks. How about that?
Maybe we don't do option B at all. That would be fun.
If you want me to start, I'll just pull out my journal. I could.
No, we don't need to do that.
Right. Okay. Put that back down.
Nebulon.
Yes.
There is somebody here who may be somewhat interested in the stars, let's say.
I'm listening.
Do you see that gentleman over there? And you see he points towards what looks like how do I describe this? Looks like a human man with long, sort of flowing orange hair. You can see a large, like, staff on his back, crimson red robes detailed with gold and gems and blue.
Okay. I see him. Who is he?
That man there is called Lorican. He is the proprietor of Sorcerer's Sundries. He will be very interested to hear about you and where you came from.
Will he now?
And he's very wise in the ways of the world and what's going on around the city, so...
Okay. And how do I approach said individual? I mean.
I think if you and your brother were to approach him, he would start the conversation for you.
Come along then, brother. Let's go introduce ourselves. Yes.
Yeah.
Remind me of your name again, brother, because I'm not going to fuck this up. Please.
Astralis,
Astralis. Nebula
named after
Astralis.
the night sky.
I like it. It's
And an esports gaming team.
yes.
I'll wait here and try not to get into any trouble.
Can't believe you actually said that, but I believe you.
Cool.
At which
you
point
guys-
I'll hand him one platinum piece. Don't waste this.
Thank you. As you guys sort of like begin to approach Lorican, Rail, give me a perception check, please.
Okie dokie. Just as I'm talking to these people as well, perception check is a 17. I am just going to say to them as well. Just thinking back to our conversation earlier, I don't suppose you remember that it was Resmir, was it?
Couldn't tell you, I'm afraid. I didn't have a lot of dealings with her personally, to be honest. What was your perception check?
17.
As you see Nebulon and Quill sort of like dipping over to the other side of the bar to talk to the sort of like flame-head individual, you watch Renar slip out through the front doors.
Cool, I'm after him. Terribly sorry, guys. My entourage has decided that they're going to get into trouble, so thank you ever so much. Please do finish this on me. And if I ever see you around, please have a drink with me again.
Of course, right. See you later.
See you later. And I'm gone. I'm like full on
Incredible.
dash action,
As
sprinting, going.
As you sprint over, you catch Renar and you see him sort of like ducking into an alleyway, just sort of like next door towards the 3 old kegs.
Did I miss something?
You see that he sort of like leans against the wall and sort of breathes deeply.
You're not gonna die on me, are you?
No, I can't do it in there. I can't take it in there. I feel like I'm going to collapse.
Okay, what happened? you gonna throw up?
Rail. No, there are things that I probably need to tell you.
What?
My father,
Yeah.
the day before my wedding, shared some information with me about this Duke. As you guys are having this conversation, you begin to hear a very gentle
Can't currently hear that from you, Cade, but do describe.
you
it.
hear a gentle whistle come from the other side of the alleyway.
I'm gonna take a look to see if I can see who's in said alleyway.
You see a sort of like large set figure. You can see sort of like pasty grey skin to sort of like large tusks, sort of like in an underbite. You see this sort of like black chainmail armor and a great sword on his back. If it ain't the ickle Lord never remember.
A friend of yours?
Oh. We've been looking for you for some time, Lord Neverember. Indeed. Now, why don't you come with us? And you see from the other side of the alleyway, 3 figures block the immediate exit.
Now, I'm sure we can come to a fun misunderstanding, and I am just gonna put my hands on my weapons and just be ready.
Got yourself a little bodyguard, have you, Lord Ling? Well, shouldn't take a lot to get rid of him. Draws the great sword in place.
I'll do the same.
Oh no.
Rail.
Yep.
Roll me a wisdom saving throw with disadvantage, please.
That's a 4.
Incredible. At which point you feel your body freeze as the paralysis washes over you. You watch the sparkles of energy as a mage on a rooftop. This finishes the spell.
Oh.
Now, I'm going to polish up your little friend here. And I'm going to take you somewhere a little bit more cozy, alright? So you sort of like look towards Renar. You feel as he pulls the long sword from your belt. You can see his hand shaking. You won't hurt my friend. I will not allow it. Smashes him around the back of the head with the butt of the great sword, and Renar crumbles to the floor.
Oh,
I'm gonna try and break out of this.
And we'll pick up there next week.
No, I'm not. See you next week.
How dare you! No.
Oh my god.
No.